Welcome, everyone, to Snobservation with your favourite doll, Priscilla! And of course,
And
our little box man,
Hazel, where all of our opinions are right, and even though they're wrong, we're still right.
Yes.
Today we're technically covering a double feature because
Well, we had
I
to.
argued, yeah, we had to, and I argued that we couldn't cover the film in question without considering its reference material.
Historical context, we'll say. Yes.
Context. And of course, we cannot forget our lovely guest today who introduced us to the film in question. Priscilla,
Yes. Welcome all. It's Lance! Big cheers all around.
Hello.
Woo!
Yay.
There be Lance.
I know Lance from back in the day, my Final Fantasy 14 days. He's my FC leader with his lovely partner, and they're just so cool, and they still run an amazing Discord where we all chatter about silly things.
And share lots of things.
Yes, we chat about so many important things, and it's great. And it was a great FC to be part of, and maybe one day I'll get back into Final Fantasy 14. We'll see. But that's how I know them. Not a VTuber, I know, shocking guys, but they've got just as many opinions as us, so don't worry.
Oh, so many opinions. You're going to have to stop me.
Oh, no, we're not going to stop you. Go off.
No. We love that, actually. But yes, they suggested to us the wonderful Reefer Madness Musical, and it's been on my list for a while, I won't lie.
It is one of my favourite movies.
Yeah.
If not my favourite, and it's very underknown, so I'm always happy to talk to people about it and to tell people that they really should watch it.
Yes, it's honestly such a gift for us to enjoy. We did watch, obviously, the Hayes era exploitation film that it is based on. And
Yes.
Do you want me to give a little history on where the movie comes from?
Oh, we
Yeah.
must. We must educate ourselves, yes.
We must educate the people. Hi, this is where I come into the best of my memory.
So,
The one time where I can put
prior to this, I had never seen the original film.
No, it was a big thing for all of us. We were all green.
Oh,
It was
I've seen
originally
OG Reefer Madness.
Oh,
I haven't
shush.
seen the musical.
Mr. Film School Man.
Oh, shush, let me have this moment. It's my turn. You were saying, Lance? Sorry, go ahead.
It was originally a 1936 film put together. I found out doing some background research by a church group in Bangladesh.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
This is not shocking. This is not
And
shocking.
And then it was picked up by an exploitation film director who spliced some more risque content into it. But I think we watched the original 1936 version. And then
Yes.
in 1998, I think it was, there was a stage production made that was looking back and really making fun of the film and the genre.
As they should. It was a silly film.
And then in it was 2008, this film came out. It's a film adaptation. It was done by the same people who did the stage show, so it was then adapted.
Oh,
and actually, there was a lot that's similar. They changed a couple of things just to, there didn't need to be a song that led into the intermission. That was fiddled around it a little bit. And they actually went back and took some of the changes they made for the film and put them into the stage show.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
The Hays Code is an era of history that I have no experience with, I will say.
It's my time.
As someone who has no exposure to America outside of those weird TV shows you guys made.
It's my time.
It's his time.
Okay. So the Hays Code was basically a set of rules around, I believe, so the Hays Code was proposed in 1927 with a whole laundry list of 2 specific categories, don'ts and be carefuls. But before we get into that, this was obviously done in response to scandals within the scandals and amongst Hollywood at the time, and obviously it was a response to just the increasing pressure of like censorship from the government.
Right.
Yeah. So
My nemesis, censorship.
yes. So this is just a whole list of what movie companies, like production companies, shouldn't really do as a way to be like, hey, yeah, we're following our old rules and stuff. So as I said before, there are two categories: the don'ts, which are in verbatim, as it said on the document. Those things which are included in the following list shall not appear in pictures produced by members of this association, irrespective of the manner in which they are treated, which is pointed profanity by either title or lip. This includes the words God, Lord, Jesus Christ, unless they be used reverently in connection with proper religious ceremonies. Hell, son of a bitch, damn, God, and every other profane and vulgar expression, however it may be spelt. This is the first one. We still have 11 more. We still have 10 more
God.
out of 11.
I feel like they
This
hate
is the-
me. I feel like
yeah.
they'd hate me.
Number 2. Any licentious or suggestive nudity in fact or in silhouette, and any lecherous or licentious notice thereof by other characters in the picture. You
Okay,
cannot.
one.
You could,
Yeah,
yeah, you
we're
could.
doomed. We're doomed. Both you and me, Lance, we're doomed. Swearing, horniness, we're out.
They wanted it to be a good Christian country.
Ugh.
You'll see. Yes, I know. Vomit. Please do.
I would do
Please
like
vomit.
a very good pukey noise, but I love you listeners. I don't want to actually trigger someone's like pukey noises. So that's my fake, silly little pukey noise.
Okay. 3. The illegal traffic in drugs. 4. Any inference of sex perversion.
The perverts!
Mhm.
They're coming for
They
us,
want it.
perverts.
Interesting, given some of the stuff that happens in the original film.
Well, it's not portrayed as like a good thing, I think. It's why they get
Yeah.
away with it.
But
Yes.
like, totally can depict an attempt at rape.
Oh no, that's totally fine because the guy's a bad person, and that means that he we have to show that he's bad. We can't like pretend otherwise.
Yes.
But isn't
So,
this things that can't be shown?
so there is a caveat. If I'm assuming you're talking about that one scene with Ralph in
Yes.
the original film. Yes, we
Mm.
will get to that. That is in the be careful section.
Oh, I see. The be careful.
Yeah.
It's about the framing.
Yes. We're still on don'ts, so hold on. 5. White slavery.
What? I don't think that's a
Yes,
thing,
white
bitch.
slavery.
I don't think that's a fucking thing! Unless you're talking about the Irish,
Is that-
because they kind of
again?
did go through that. They were like historically things, but this is America, and I really, really think that context is vital. There have been white people who have been slaves, not the way they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
White
It's like
slavery
explained.
specifically is such a loaded term.
So
It was a big scare around marijuana as well, so that explains why they didn't cover it in this.
Oh god, yeah. Ridiculous.
okay, so in the reference of white slavery for the Hays Code, it just meant prostitution and things.
Oh, okay.
Right.
They do be hating prostitutes often in America, so that makes sense.
Yes.
Not me, babes. I love you.
So this is not literally like this isn't like actual slavery of white people. It's just sex work.
Oh, that's such a
Things like that.
weird way to say it.
Remember, this is in the
Yeah.
1920s,
Still,
1930s.
incredibly weird way to say it.
Yeah.
The Hays Code was worded so weirdly. And,
Mm.
I'm
They
not
really
gonna
wanted
go
to trip people up is what they wanted. They wanted to make examples
Yes.
of people and before they figured it out, you know?
there. Number 6, and pardon me if I pronounce this wrong. Miscegenation, which is the marriage or basically
Yeah.
Miscegenation.
interracial marriages and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. You know,
Oh god. Yeah, no, they would hate that. That's a bad.
forced prostitution, interracial marriage, equally as bad. Yeah.
Yep, they're
Yep,
just
yep.
as bad as each other.
Yes. 7, sex hygiene and venereal diseases.
Huh?
You gotta you gotta keep the sex away from the populace.
God, I forgot how
You
much
know?
you guys love abstinence.
Uh,
I keep forgetting. This is what non-exposure to America does to you, is that you forget how they actually be.
I don't know that we're any better down.
Well, no, I
It's-
don't believe we're
Yeah.
any better. I forget, you know.
The wider world outside our queer bubble.
Mm.
this was the first time I read the Hays Code. I was like, holy crap.
Part of it is the autism of me being like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like I have the autism where it's like, you know how there's two types of the autism. There's the one where you believe in every single rule to a really strict degree, and then there's the other one where you're constantly like, this doesn't make any sense. Why does this rule exist? I'm the second one, and it makes things like this really confusing for me.
Yeah. Goes back to the Comstock Act. It's no prophylactics. It's such a big tangent, but Anthony Comstock back then just went on a flipping crusade
Oh my god.
to stop any sex education, any discussion of prophylactics, including by doctors. Just went entrapping people, and that Comstock Act recently Trump proposed using it again.
Of course he fucking did!
I love my country. Can I get a refund of this timeline?
Oh,
Okay.
yay.
Alright. Anyways, back to the don'ts.
Back to the history. Back to the pretending that current things aren't happening, and that it's
number
like a
8.
history thing.
Scenes of actual childbirth in fact or in silhouette.
Oh, that's so funny. Hey, recently I was watching. Well, I wasn't watching. I walked through the room and someone was watching it. Someone was watching The Pit, and I literally saw a scene where a baby's head is coming out of a woman's vagina. It's just very, very clearly. And I was like, man, TV's amazing.
Nowadays. This
I never even considered. I don't even know how they did that. That's incredible. She was just pregnant, I guess. She just did that.
Movie magic. Number 9, children's sex organs.
Well, I don't think anyone should see that on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on board with that one.
We're not giving the Hays Code a win. We're just sort of going, well, that's just common sense.
Yeah, that's common sense. I agree with that one. Number 10, ridicule of the clergy.
But I do that every day.
Yeah, you can't do that on screen back in the day, hun.
Oh no. They're gonna kill me. They're coming for my head.
Okay, and number 11 of the don'ts, the final one, willful offense to any nation, race, or creed, which is whack.
That's hilarious, actually, considering everything else that they were doing. That's fucking hilarious. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm assuming that does not apply to black people.
No, or
Remember-
Chinese people probably, or Native Americans. So many groups that it just does not apply to.
Yeah.
God damn.
I'm guessing this is maybe
It's just them
different
crying and
kinds of
going,
white people.
they're just crying and they're going, please don't call me Quaker again. Please.
Okay, before I continue to the be carefuls, if you're curious about why it's worded this way and why it's so weird, in 1927, the Hays Code, was codified, proposed and all that. Do you know who made the Hays Code?
Actually, no, I don't. That's a good.
All
That's a
right.
good point.
I'm gonna list.
someone named Hayes.
So Hayes suggested to the studio executives that they form a committee to discuss film censorship.
Oh, it's a committee thing.
Yes. So Irving G. Thalberg of Metro Goldwyn Mayer, otherwise known as MGM, Saul Wurtzel of Fox Film Corporation, and E.H. Allen of Paramount Pictures responded by collaborating on a list they called the Don'ts and Be Carefuls.
It's a committee thing.
Based
That
on-
explains so much with the weird vagueness and the fliff-laff and the riff-raff of the wordiness. It's just they were trying so hard to agree on what they were going to say.
Based on the items that were challenged by local censor boards. So this was an attempt to, air quotes, censor us together.
Oh my god. Censoring
Also,
as a people. This is a collective action. This is for the people. This is so beautiful when the community comes together like this.
We love
The the film
Mm-hmm.
companies.
You know, them rich white men.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Which,
Back then they were calling them Jewish. That's the difference.
Okay.
but I think the current system came about in a similar way. It was the companies kind of agreeing to the rating system.
It is, yeah. The current rating system is very much agreeing in the same sort of way. It's like everyone's agreeing on certain things, and I don't get a lot of the current ratings in general. But like, I mean, I watch horror, so I think my taste buds on what is like okay for certain groups to watch is warped. So I should not be on the committee to decide these things.
But it's like the industry itself saying, if we don't regulate ourselves, we're going to get something much worse coming in. So
I mean, they're not wrong.
But we'll finagle it to the way that's advantageous for us.
Lance is 100% right. This is an attempt to appease the upper powers by air quotes self-policing to the best of their ability, air quotes.
Yeah, it's likely. Yeah, no, that makes sense. that 100% makes sense. Like a reaction to trying to keep control of their artistic expression and like what they're doing in like a very closeted society, a very censored society.
Mm-hmm.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Now we're done with the don'ts. Now we have the be carefuls, which
Just
is
tiptoe
in
these
verbatim.
ones.
Essentially yes, but in verbatim, it is the special care must be exercised in the manner in which the following subjects are treated, to the end that vulgarity and suggestiveness may be eliminated and that good taste may be emphasized.
Oh, good taste. That's such a funny term.
Okay, if you want to see how white American coded this entire document is, all I need to do is honestly list the first be careful. The use of the flag.
You know, it's not even common for like most other countries to just use their flag in most media. That's like a very American thing.
You gotta be careful how you use it.
Yes, you can do it in a way that is good in taste. But
Like,
no
I
vulgarity or
can't even
suggestiveness in that
think
manner.
of a TV show or movie based in New Zealand that uses the flag like at all.
Yeah, it's I think internationally a little bit less focus on the flag.
No, it's just a piece of fabric. Chill out, man.
Okay.
It's the soul of our country.
No, good. Number 2, international relations. Avoid picturizing an unfavorable light on another country's religion, history, institutions, prominent people, and citizenry.
Okay, so break this one down for me, Hazel. So they want to be viewed as perfect to other countries. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I think just don't make an international incident, by the way.
Yeah,
right.
Don't make. Yeah, just don't. You can be careful in how you portray other countries, religions, and peoples. Just don't do it to the point where we might get in trouble internationally.
Yeah, just poke them a little bit. Don't stab them.
It's fine to talk how inferior slaves are and how they deserve to be enslaved, but don't drag on like Botswana specifically.
Yeah, don't make a very specific pointed remark. But you can say very vague statements like slavery is fine.
Yeah. Number 3. Religion and religious ceremonies. Makes sense. Makes sense given the context.
It's very funny. I don't watch a lot of movies with religious shit in it because it's so weird about it. A lot of American horror does center religion. And
yes.
I'm doing a lot of tangents here. Sorry, going.
No, please.
A lot of American horror does center religion, and it's so interesting to me because I'm like, you have a lot more that you could be mining in regards to horror, and even with the religious horror that they are mining, it's not even that interesting. Frankly, the best religious horror I've seen from Americans recently is that Mike Flanagan with the vampires. That is the best religious horror I've seen from the Americans in so fucking long, and I can't think of any others. I've seen The Exorcist, but actually, it's not pointed enough for me. It's
Midnight
too
Mass, correct?
nice. Like, I get that it's like a corner piece of horror history, but it's actually not that great as a religious horror to me. As an
I
abuse
was
horror,
surprised.
I find it much more fascinating as a topic.
One of the things I was surprised about with the original film was that there wasn't much overt religion. Like, I think they fired a Jesus statue at one point, but they weren't talking about good Christian children and
Yeah.
good
Yeah, I
Christian
find
bodies
that
or
that would have been
anything
a
like
better film, actually, if they just focused on what like the themes of the actual like. I don't know. I'm curious about this original cut that we will never see.
Lost history. That's the rough part. Never gonna see how it first aired, you know?
Yeah, it's a rough one.
Number 4, arson.
Arson.
Just
Arr.
arson.
A couple of them.
That's a fun word.
Number 5, the use of firearms.
Well, personally, I believe that maybe Americans should exercise that one a little bit more. You guys,
Now-
you guys are really, really heated about those bitches, and I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Now, in this film, you know, like in the original 1937, we saw firearms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The reason why it was fine there was because it was in a only bad people do this context.
And the cops had them, but they didn't use them. They just sort of pointed them around the place.
They were like, yeah,
They just sort of
They didn't
held them as a warning.
they didn't indiscriminately kill.
Which is interesting.
Hmm. Number 6, theft, robbery, safe cracking, and dynamiting of trains, mines, buildings, etc., having in mind the effect which a too detailed description of these may have upon the moron.
Hey Asa, we should watch How
Yeah.
to Blow Up a Pipeline.
But make sure no one listening is a moron.
Oh,
Remember-
we're
If you're a
VTubers. We have a
moron, tune
lot.
out now.
We're VTubers. We have a lot of morons. I'm sorry, babes. I love all
Yeah.
of you, but some of you are dumb.
Look, I'm dumb sometimes, okay? And I'm the one behind the screen making y'all watch me, and you're the ones
Yeah.
watching me. So,
Mm.
I watched a dynamiting of a train and it had a marked effect on me.
and remember, like as I go through this list, just keep in like the thought back in your mind that this is supposed to be in good taste.
Whatever that means.
Remember, no, in good taste as in like, oh, we don't want the average viewer to do these things or think that
I know,
they're
it's just
doing
such a
X
silly
and Y.
phrase, you know?
It's so funny, like
It's so silly. It sounds like something a grandma would say.
so much like censorship and like olden like early 1920s, 10s, etc. era like writing is so weird, but also so entertaining to read for me
Some of it's great,
because-
but some of it's just silly.
because of like how hard they try to skirt things. Like just say it, come on.
I
Say
need to
it.
look up some like historical works from my own country because this stuff is gonna poison me if I don't.
Number 7, brutality and possible gruesomeness.
But I love that. But me, I love that.
You just got a
Gotta-
taste for brutal in person. That's fine.
That's true. That's true. I'll just attack a cop. That'll be fine. That'll fall within the circle, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I wonder how
No.
our audience is going to take this episode. We haven't gotten this political before.
This is just history, alright?
No, I know. But we're also saying
Yeah.
things that are very real.
I mean, whenever you kind of try to-
Remember, Priscilla,
Yeah.
it's our podcast where everything we say is right.
That's
and if we're wrong,
true.
we're right.
That's true. I'm always right.
Number 8, technique of committing murder by whatever method.
Dang, I'm in a lot of trouble. Like, this list is out to get me. I'm not gonna lie.
You're gonna have to take your how-to start getting this done.
How to be
Number
Priscilla
9.
is just the Hays Code.
Number 9, sorry, methods of smuggling.
Okay. Methods.
Number 10,
How-to
Methods.
guides. Don't give them.
yeah, do not give the viewer an explicit how to, do crime.
Yeah.
Number 10, third degree methods, otherwise known as torture.
Oh. Oh. Mean to me.
Number
Is
11.
that where the phrase "the third degree" comes from?
I do
Maybe.
not know.
It would explain it.
I don't know. I'll have to
Sorry,
look
I
it up.
just.
No,
No,
it
no,
makes
no.
sense. Like people talk about giving them the old third degree, and it's like
Maybe. We'll have to look at this
that
up
would
after like
explain
we're
it.
done.
Oh my god.
Well, we'll have to look that up after this episode.
Mhm.
Number 11. I almost said 10. Whoops. That was
Whoops.
third degree. Number 11. Actual hangings or electrocutions as legal punishment for crime. Just be
That's-
careful
Show
with that.
death. You gotta be, if it's by the state, but you gotta be careful. Yeah.
As legal punishment, mind you, for
Oh
crime.
no, you can show illegal ones. That's fine.
No, you can be careful about showing legal versions of this.
Yeah.
You know.
But what about my illegal? They hate me.
Number 12. Sympathy for criminals.
Oh, I'm in trouble. Sorry, I'm making this very much about me, but this list is calling
No,
me out
no.
in a very real way.
No, please. Please call this out. Please point out. Just react to this, because none of this would.
It's coming
There's
for
no
us.
sympathy in that original movie. Oh,
That's
here's the thing.
true.
Here's the thing. In that one, it's fine because that was a case of like, oh, wait, I'm getting the musical mixed up.
You are. They did actually show sympathy to the criminal in that one. I think they got away with it because everything else was so harsh.
yeah.
But also,
Because they showed a lot of
even
sympathy to the May woman.
to
They
me,
showed
in the
sympathy
original
about
film,
her.
right?
Yeah. They showed sympathy about her reactions to her realizing her guilt.
Yes, but at the end of the day, what happened to May?
Yeah, but they still sympathize with her.
Yeah, but it isn't a case of like,
Oh.
oh,
Yeah.
I feel bad for the criminals.
Oh. The ends
May-
justify the means. I get it.
Yeah, it's like May. Oh, May has some like, oh, May did the right thing, but at what cost? You know?
Mm.
Because at the end of
end-
the day, May was still
Yeah.
evil.
Oh, she was so evil that I loved her.
I was thinking more of getting tricked into doing all these things, but that is kind of a point in there, is that marijuana will trick you into doing evil things.
Yeah, like the devil. He loves doing that to people.
Number 13. Attitude towards public characters and institutions. Please be careful about that.
Oop! Oop!
Number 14. Sedition.
What's that one again?
Is overt conduct such as speech or organization that tends towards rebellion against the established order.
Oops!
Unless it's the English.
That's true. We can. They're fine with it. People rebelling against the English. Famously, that was fine.
We gotta keep the social order.
We've
Gotta
got to
keep this nation
got
good,
our
clean,
one-
and Christian.
We've got our one get out of jail free card with the English.
Yeah, but you can't do that anymore now.
Darn.
Darn. 15. Apparent cruelty to children and animals.
I haven't got a full thought on this. Because on one hand, I also don't like it when people are mean to animals and children. But on the other hand, the context.
Just interesting given the sanctioning of corporal punishment.
Yeah.
Corporal punishment. I wonder how that would read
But it's not
if it was. No, I guess it
It's-
wouldn't be considered cruelty.
For the way I read this the first time I saw it, it's like, oh, a parent disciplining their child is fine in the be careful section.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
imagine
you know.
so. Which is, oh my god.
Even though, like, even if the kid was,
Even if there's
doing
so
something
many
right,
statistical studies now and stuff about how that was actually like that sort of thing is actually massively traumatizing to a child's mind.
yeah.
Great. Sorry, continue.
Number 16. Branding of people or animals.
Again, my horror. They hate me. My horror times. They wouldn't
Number
like horror
7.
in general. Like they wouldn't. I'm just not
No.
being included in their kindness at all.
No, like, 1930s America would explode if they saw the horror.
If they saw anything horror,
Yeah.
they saw a guy that was covered in blood, they would go, "Oh!"
How scandalous! People would faint. Number 17. The sale of women or a woman of a woman selling her virtue. Again, it's just
It's just prostitution, sort of.
yes, yeah.
That's oh my
So-
god. They really have actually no that. I need to have my own time where I yell at someone about things.
Hey, we're here. Ask her.
I have thoughts on the American cons. Well, actually, the general Western. Actually, it's not just America. There's problems in Europe. There's problems all over the world. The general Western framing of prostitution pisses me off a lot. First of all, you need to allow these women to have control of their own money. Number one, you need to give as soon as they're forced into some sort of I hate to use the word pimp, but pimp networking, where they have to have someone find contacts for them, you're putting that power in someone else's hands. Number one, that is a vacuum for abuse. That's just opens them up to abuse so quickly. They have no control over their own money. Immediate financial abuse.
I think you should know about how recently it was that women were not allowed to have bank accounts.
Yep. Bank accounts are for women.
In any context, women
For
have control over their
assigned
money.
female at birth people has been horrifically recent, especially bank accounts that were not controlled by a spouse. I have a mother. Shocking, I know. I have parents. And she has very explicitly not connected her bank account to her partner's because she is terrified by the concept that he would use her money and be financially irresponsible and financially abuse her somewhat, because quite frankly he does not pay for things at all in supporting the family. So I'm getting personal, but recently we discovered that he had over 50 grand in his bank account while we were doing our best to survive moving to a new house that we had just bought. So the fury is real. And this is a very, it is very easy to be financially abused by someone. And just having the societal expectation that you will link bank accounts, that don't do that. I know it seems romantic and cute, but don't do it. For your safety. They may seem nice and safe, but just don't do it. I'm on my soapbox.
No, please stay on your soapbox.
But there's so many ways that people can be controlled while prostituted, and the main thing that is causing issues right now is the censorship on the internet. There is a group called, I believe, FOFSA. Fuck, I can't remember them exactly. Yeah, there's this group that is aiming to push sex workers off the internet. And it is something that I am immensely angry about. The sex workers were already pushed off of Tumblr. I was there when sex workers were still on Tumblr. And it was incredibly good for me because I learned a lot about healthy sex. And how things can be unhealthy in various ways. And it was good for me. There were many very intelligent, philosophical, and blunt women on that website, and they vanished overnight. And I don't want that happening to the entire fucking internet, because it means that they will have to go back to finding clients the old way. And that's dangerous. I'm so sorry, Azel. I have sidetracked our fun movie podcast.
No. This is actually a great time to, actually talk about these things, actually, compare now times to, well, what Americans thought, because Priscilla's not in America, spoilers.
No, but a lot of American viewpoints do control the internet. It is horrific how much the internet is controlled by American sensibilities.
Giving a lot of cultural washover.
But they also just control a lot of the censorship rules. And even just like
100%.
them walking in and saying this is an American internet and getting surprised when other people exist. Like that's just like, there's this guy I watch on YouTube every now and then where he talks about, where he reads like viewer stories and stuff from Reddit about people experiencing Americans in other countries and Americans getting shocked by the fact that their world isn't the center of the world.
Yes. Yeah, wow.
It's,
Who would have guessed?
It's actually scary. It's actually scary because it screams to me, and I hate to use big words about this because they're so loud and they're so loaded.
Please use
Well,
big
they're very
words.
well, not just big words, but they're very loaded. It terrifies me because it does scream a lot of indoctrination and brainwashing.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
can agree with that.
terrifying to know that so much of the population of this world lives like that. And I implore you all, just learn about things when you're curious. Do your best to learn. Open your mind up to different perspectives and keep yourself safe. Safe, sane, consensual isn't just a sex framework to live by. It's not just a framework that you do through sex. It's actually a framework, safe, sane, and consensual, that you can apply to every part of your life. And you should apply that to your learning. You should apply that to your willingness to listen to other people and your ability to listen to other people. The amount of people who I have explained to, I'm going everywhere with this. The amount of people who I have who have unabashedly told myself that they're heterosexual men with no awareness of genderqueer dynamics and what genderqueer people are. I have explained various things like my gender isn't woman or male or woman or man, it's non-binary, and I've explained that I recognize that most people are going to see me as a woman. However, that is not relevant to how I exist and who I am as a person. They may see me as a woman. However, I know that I'm not a woman, and I can exist comfortably knowing this. There are multiple people who I've explained the difference between being asexual and being allosexual. This is another fun one. There are multiple people who I've explained the interesting dynamics of being asexual and how you approach sexual scenarios. Man, I'm sorry, this isn't maybe a podcast anymore, listener. This is a me podcast. I'm sorry, Lance. This is meant to be your episode. And the way I approach sexual stuff, and some people in my circle will know this, is that I don't get horny, not really. I don't really find things sexually attractive, but I usually view them from either, is this funny? A lot of sex is funny. You guys don't realize this. It's very fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. You guys are slapping your bodies together because you find it sexy, and that's hilarious.
I've come to learn about that from you.
It's hilarious. There's horny stuff where someone has enlarged body parts, and that's hilarious. And there's also the dynamic where I enjoy learning. I have a quite an artistic focused mind, so I enjoy lighting and framing and emotiveness of pieces as well. So there's a lot of what people would call porn that I find fulfilling on an artistic level, which is interesting. And the amount of people I've explained this to, because they have no awareness of asexuality, is so interesting. But I enjoy that they have reached out and asked about it. Man, I've gone on a tangent for too long. Please go back to the movie stuff, Hazel.
Back to the Hays Code real quick.
My God, they let me go on for too long.
No, please. we can discuss this after the episode too, okay? Okay?
Oh my God.
Because I can sense the passion within your voice. But
I'm passionate about so many things, and it's a problem with these focused sort of podcasts.
It's okay. It's our podcast, our rules. But we should chunk through the Hays Code.
Oh, yeah, we should.
Don't worry, we have only 9 more to go.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah. So number 18. So this is the one I talked about earlier when I was in the don'ts, because obviously there was a scene in the original film about this. Be careful, number 18, rape or attempted rape.
Where I
Yes.
got confused is, I don't think it speaks to the attitude towards rape at the time, but I would absolutely lump rape under influence of sex perversion.
Yeah, I would have also thought it was sexual perversion, but I guess it's interesting
It's
because
just a
they're
naughty
framing
thing
it.
that men do sometimes.
Yeah, but I guess depending on the framing, it is violence. I don't know. Very odd.
Remember,
Actually,
this was...
that's interesting because the other rape scene, arguably the other rape scene with William, I think, and that woman was framed as perversion and not rape.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry. It's interesting though.
Okay, so you did get up. Okay, so can we double back to don'ts number 4 about sex perversion?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people, even myself, got
Tripped up.
caught up on that. Yeah, so sex perversion in this case, I believe I'm correct, was actually... Let me just double check on I'm getting this right, because...
Is it gay people?
I'm correct.
Yeah, that's what I expected to go.
I was like, is it gay people?
Yes. So the code specifically stated,
Is
like,
it
says
Squidward?
inference of it is you, Squidward. Any inference of sex perversion is basically just LGBTQ. We can't have that.
Yeah, that's interesting though, because I felt that there was a lot of perversion in that scene where the woman rapes the man, but I guess I don't know. I guess because they're heterosexual, it's fine.
I mean, no, that only happens in the modern version, which does not have it underrated.
Yeah.
I think.
The modern version doesn't have the sex scenes like that though. Like the modern version framed it more like he had very, very clearly become a horn dog, and she wasn't just pulling him along with her.
Yeah.
As soon as he hit it.
The music one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Number 19. We're almost there, I promise.
We'll get to the movie one day.
Promise. I'm sorry, listeners, but this is very important. Number 19. First night scenes.
Oh. What does that mean?
Oh,
right. First
consummation.
night. Duh.
Yeah. Is the first officially credited act of the sex after marriage.
Oh, goodness. They let them have them?
Legally required sex.
Yeah. Number 20 also kind of follows this. Man and woman in bed together.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you gotta be tasteful about that. You gotta be religious religiously conscious about it. Number 21. Deliberate seduction of girls.
Ooh. Oh, no.
People expressing sexual desire. Oh, God. Very careful.
Number 22. The institution of marriage. Do not soil that institution of marriage, whatever you do. It is sacred, holy. It better not be broken.
You better not poop in it.
Exactly. Number 23. Surgical operations.
That's interesting that they...
This was an interesting one. This one always
that they brought that one
I tried
up.
to find them, if there was any deeper meaning. I couldn't. Maybe I was dumb back then, but I still can't find any deeper meaning for this one.
Oh, that's weird.
It's probably just a gore thing.
It's probably the gore thing, yeah. That's my gut. That was my gut instinct too. Probably just gore.
Right.
Gore, blood, all that. Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
Number 24. The most poignant for this episode are the use of drugs.
Oh my god.
You can have drug use, but make sure it's associated with being evil.
This is still Australian rating systems for games.
It does.
Yeah.
It does feel similar, doesn't it?
You're not allowed to use drugs if they give you powers or any drug use has to be bad.
Yeah. It's actually interesting. A lot of one of the hallmarks of a good video game of fucked up proportions to me now is is it banned in New Zealand? Rule of Rose, that's banned in New Zealand. That's a really good video game story-wise. I've heard that the Silent Hill F video game that's had same writer as Higurashi and Umineko has been pre-banned in New Zealand.
The newest one in Japan, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's
I'm so
a lot of
sorry.
people are saying that this is just Higurashi again because it's like this is looking really similar, and I'm not mad about that. But I'll find a way.
Okay.
Let's just find a way. Don't worry.
The dog is scratching at my door. I need to get
Box dog.
Yes. So, number 25, titles or scenes having to do with law enforcement or law enforcing officers. Thoughts on that while I go grab my dog? I'm sorry, Yuki.
Oh, Yuki, our poor
Gotta
editor.
make sure we are clear that the police are good.
Yeah. Like as we said earlier, they're allowed to have guns, but if they shoot them at civilians, that could be seen as bad. Even if the civilians are criminals.
This was before acorns, so cops did not randomly shoot.
I mean, random is holding a lot of space. But yes, I get what you mean.
I mean, I suspect that the phenomenon of cops shooting
Certain people, yes.
is not new.
No, given the history of lynching, I would be shocked.
I suspect the recognition of black people as human is new within American society.
It is a bit new, isn't it? I feel like I have to apologize to Tushi for this episode. I'm sorry, Tushi.
I've returned.
I'm sorry, Tushi. I'm sorry, Jaws. This episode's going to be very charged.
What I missed? I was grabbing my dog. My dog
We're
is now
talking about
sleeping on my
cops.
bed. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. And okay, finally the last one. Finally, we can go to the movie after this one. Woo!
Oh my god.
26. Excessive or lustful kissing, particularly when one character or the other is a heavy.
A heavy?
Evil.
Right.
Oh. More of your American slang.
It's basically just a villain.
I see. I only know heavy from the silly little Team Fortress 2 animations. So I was very confused.
Put this.
I do like the use of the word lustful.
It's a cute word, isn't it?
Only chaste kissing.
Lustful is such a cute word, though, if you think about it.
It's such a nice word.
It's so cozy. Like, what a cute little word, just the way it sits.
It's nice.
But yes, lovely listeners, I believe we've made it.
We survived the Hays Code.
Somehow. We only ranted a little bit.
It's fine. Alright, so Reefer Madness. How do we want to start this? Because technically, they are the same plot. So
they are
how do we
technically
want
the same plot. We can just jump around. I'm real. We can jump between the movie and the musical as much as we please.
I guess we should start with how it opens, because
it opens with
this could happen to you.
A very dramatic full credit sequence.
I've taken down the text of the story if you want to go through that.
Oh.
You have the text?
Yes. The 1936 film starts with a warning to the viewers in that.
Can you post it? I want to read this. Let me read this. Can you post it in
Aza wants to do his silly voice.
Let me do this. Let me have...
Oh, the silly voice time.
Editor Rat, I need you to dial in for this if possible. All right. Thanks. Your blessing. The motion picture you're about to witness may startle you. It would not have been possible otherwise to sufficiently emphasize the frightful toll of the new drug menace which is destroying the youth of America in alarmingly increasing numbers. Marijuana is that drug.
They do
a
use an
violent
HS
narcotic.
chat.
An unspeakable courage, the real public enemy number one. Its first effect is sudden, violent, uncontrollable laughter. Then comes the dangerous hallucinations. Space expands, time slows down, almost stands still. Fixed ideas comes next. conjuring up monstrous and extravagances, followed by emotional disturbances, the total inability to direct thoughts, the loss of all power to resist physical emotions, leading finally to acts of shocking violence, ending often in incurable insanity. In picturing its soul-destroying effects, no attempt was made to evocate. The scenes and incidents, while fictionalized for the purposes of the story, are based upon actual research into the results of marijuana addiction. If their stark reality will make you think, will make you aware that something must be done to wipe out this ghastly menace, then the picture will not have failed in its purpose, because the dreaded marijuana may be reaching forth. Your next son or daughter, or yours, or yours.
Bravo!
There's a little bit of that scroll is taken straight into the musical. The marijuana is that drug. I think it's the start of the opening song.
Yes, I think it was called Reefer Madness?
Yes.
Okay, usually the first song is a title song, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
It's such a good title
that's
song.
The words that the song starts with.
I don't... Other than the propaganda of this writing, I do love this monstrously long, extravagant opening writing. Bring it back.
Which does essentially say, this is all fake, but
what if?
It's worth it.
It could happen to you, dear viewer.
What if it did happen? It's like Marvel if? What if?
They're implying that this is the kind of thing that happens all the time.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And of course, the original movie was, an exploitation film. It was variously purposefully written to be like, oh my goodness, drug scare, let's,
I think
get
one of my
people in.
favorite notes from this early scene is they show me how to make marijuana cigarettes, and I'm really happy that they finally taught me, a TV show / movie that has taught me how to make the most important drug thingy. Now I know how to roll a marijuana.
The other really interesting thing in that opening is, actually we should probably say, so both films start with someone lecturing to a group of parents. In the original it's a PTA meeting principal, so lecturer in the musical.
Mm-hmm.
But talking about how there are all these horrific drugs, that you already know about, heroin, cocaine, and then worse than all of them is this new drug menace, marijuana.
I tried to look up why marijuana is spelled with J or H. There's conflicting ideas on the reasoning. Apparently marijuana is used as the legal terminology in certain states, and that's about it, with the H rather. But I haven't figured out much else.
I mean, my understanding is the real reason that I don't know about the spelling difference between the H and the J, but it all comes down to the racial framing. That it was actually really interesting that this original film doesn't talk about race at all. But it was
no, it's just filled with white people, and you just pretend you just have to pretend that's normal.
But the main reason for referring to it as marijuana rather than cannabis, which is kind of the established original English term, is because that's Mexican.
Right.
So it's really framing this as
a racial terminology thing.
Yeah, and there was a huge part of the demonization of marijuana was linked into demonization.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. Of Mexicans and
That
Chinese.
explains so fucking much. Oh my god.
Of black people. It was,
That's crazy. Once again, it comes back to racism.
Oh.
But yes, they're opening in a almost like a PTA meeting.
Yes. One of my favourite lines from the musical is, "Would that it had been mere heroin."
Fucking hilarious.
The other difference they have to kind of show is that obviously smoking was really normalised in 1936, like long before finding out that was the same thing, so it's ridiculous and all of the problems with it. So I think it's not mentioned at all in the original, because I think it's just such counterculture.
It's just so normal to just all be smoking gaskets, yeah.
Yeah, but there's children smoke a reefer stick, which looks like
I mean, my
a perfectly
grandparents...
harmless cigarette.
Yeah, I mean, my grandparents were smoking their whole fucking lives. And they only stopped because Mum basically said, I'll go cold turkey on you and never let you see the kids if you don't stop. I'm not putting them around that. And they did go to cold turkey, which is fucking insane. But they did it, and that's the only reason I knew them.
But all through the 1936 movie, like, all these teens are smoking cigarettes, and it's just not a problem.
Yeah, it's like nothing.
Because I think the newer one had to center for modern audiences that
To explain it
we
a
don't
little
think,
bit.
Yeah.
I think they mostly explained it by Alan Cumming smoking up a gasket and every like 5 minutes and just pretending it was normal and everyone would... I don't think they actually explained it super textually, but Alan Cumming acted like it was normal, so that made it okay.
But he did say it's a perfectly harmless, it looks like a perfectly harmless cigarette.
Yes.
Perfectly harmless cigarette.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was all they needed, and it worked. It's seamless, actually, the way he makes that movie sing.
Yeah.
But the OG is not so self-aware.
No, it's 100% saying that.
Another thing about it is
worse than. Yeah.
Another thing about it is like the original was very much against educating about drugs.
No. Because they also noted down.
Oh no, they did. They wanted the compulsory education around the drugs.
Yeah.
They wanted the compulsory education, and I was like, and I remember now. I'm rereading my notes. I flummoxed. I had a moment. Yes, I was on board for the compulsory education about like drugs and their effects. I was like, this is cool. This is actually good. We should teach people about this, especially some drugs. When you go through puberty, they can have very psychoactive reactions to the hormones.
Mm-hmm.
No one talks about that.
Yes.
But the bias is clear about the framing of the education. Like, you can very much tell that the film is saying this compulsory education would tell people that the drugs are all evil, and that's about it.
So I went on off down a whole rabbit hole. There's only one book referenced in the new version. They refer to it as marijuana, weed of madness. The actual title is On the Trail of Marijuana, Weed of Madness.
Oh, that's such an interesting title.
And it's about this guy who's going on the trail of marijuana, trying to show its effects and like researching it for 14 years. But he, in that book, talks about that some people are opposed to education about these drugs because they think that it will encourage kids to do it, and they're like, well, actually the kids all know about this, and they
already know it's there. Like they already have access to it. What we need to do is give them the tools to apply informed consent, basically.
And so he's saying, if we don't tell them about it, the drug pushers will tell about it. Which
and they're kind of biased about it.
Except the truth, the quote-unquote truth he wants to tell kids about this drug is that it's worse than heroin. You will very quickly become...
And that's where his bias comes in.
Yeah. And that's what this also very explicitly is saying. We need to educate children. There's no federal law, there's nothing... the government's not doing anything about this. We need to tell children that if you smoke weed, you will...
You will die before marriage.
One of the stories that comes up across a lot of the literature from that day is this boy who allegedly smoked weed and killed his whole family with an axe.
I heard about that one, yes.
Yes, they reference that in the film. It's one of the principal stuff. Oh no, the Bureau of Narcotics guy brings it up to the principal. But it's just glossed over. But that's absolutely what they're saying behind smoke weed.
Yeah, it's... The thing is that there are psychoactive reactions that people can have to various drugs during puberty because of the hormones. And maybe that's what happened, but I don't know how real this story is.
No, absolutely not. Like, it's very clear that
it's very much made up, yeah.
So for context, I'm a psychiatrist, or almost a psychiatrist. I'm a doctor, but And so I've seen all sorts of jokes, all sorts of drug reactions. It's true that earlier use of cannabis does increase your risk of developing schizophrenia later in life.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's not the be-all, end-all, yeah.
Oh, it's not even like... Even people with schizophrenia are not that dangerous. It's, much more likely to be a victim of a violent crime than to do it.
Yes.
Just,
Yeah, people who have mental conditions and disabilities are much more likely to be victims of violent crime than they are to be the perpetrators.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, we're not going to say that weed is 100% harmless.
No,
but,
nothing is.
And it's particularly harmful for teenagers whose brains aren't fully developed.
Mm-hmm.
But this the kind of stuff they talk about in this book, it was only like 100 pages, this book, but just the kind of stuff they're saying that happens. It's just anyone who smoked weed once is going to know that it's really fucking nonsense.
Yeah, it's fear-mongering, basically.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Good fear mongering.
Good old fear-mongering, very American of them all.
So prevalent in exploitation films. Ugh.
Which we'll get to at the end of the episode.
Anyways, where were we?
We were still at the PTA meeting.
Yeah.
We learned how to make. I was very excited because we learned how to make a cigarette, and that's about it.
I've established that weed is the most dangerous drug ever.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Nothing more dangerous.
Nothing. So
There's a very
after
funny
that-
scene. There's a very funny scene that shows, which actually is like a callback. I realize in the musical near the end of the film, near the end of the musical, there's a callback to the scene where they burn. Oh, never mind. No, they were burning heroin in the earlier film. To show.
Yeah.
And I just had a question, like, is that ingestible via vapors? I never researched that part. I'm just curious. They weren't wearing masks.
They weren't wearing proper protective gear.
But then we're in the PTA meeting.
Yes.
So then
The PT
both films then go into the story of this cautionary tale that is fictionalized, but in the musical they claim that it's a true thing.
Oh, they claim it's a big old documentary, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they
Whereas
claim
the
it's a big
original
documentary.
just implies it's a
They
documentary.
do, yeah. It's very funny,
And
actually.
We meet our innocent, all-American, probably good Christian, but it's not.
Good Christian.
He's probably
boy.
Christian, we
Everything
can
golly
assume.
gee, well, swell, Jack Perry.
Yeah.
We can assume he's a Christian.
Yes. I think that's part of why it's not mentioned in the original. It's just like how
Well, they're all
cigarettes
Christians.
are
We all know that.
legalized.
Other religions
like
don't
it's-
exist.
It's just accepted that people smoke, whatever, that's normal. It's
Yeah.
accepted that, or assumed that everyone's Christian.
Yeah. What else would they be? Come on!
I mean, they're portrayed as good kids, which implies Christian.
Yeah, all Christians are good people.
Peak Americans.
In fact, at one point we're told that Billy never lies. Never.
Oh
That's-
yes, it's very much emphasized
Never,
in the musical.
never.
It's like made a big deal in the musical, and it's very funny.
Never lies.
Never.
Except that I think that comes up after we've seen him lie about having been out with his girlfriend. But anyway,
It does, and it's very fucking funny. It's like, oh, we know though, we know.
The audience knows. Oh no.
We meant to be pointing at the screen and going, no, don't listen to him, he's
No.
lying.
You're falling for it. No.
I'm trying to think how to characterize the characters in the original, but part of the trouble is it's a black and white film.
They're
It
not
is
very
all-
character.
Yeah, it's all very white, very samey looking people.
The
And
only
it's
person I
often
care about in the
confused
original
with
is like very similar to the only character I care very much about in the musical. It's May. It's May. She's
May.
good. She's always good. She's good in the original and she's good in the musical. It's actually very interesting.
Yeah. And An interesting thing to know, because you mentioned it, Priscilla, you didn't really care for like any of the actors. They all look the same, you know?
Mm.
Exploitation films are cheaply made. So
Oh.
cheaply made. None of these actors are names anywhere.
Oh no, my girl
No.
May.
Yeah, OG May. Nobody cared about them.
I
Nobody
cared
knew
about them. I cared.
I cared about them, but like in the realm of like 1930s
Yeah.
cinema, no.
No,
Not
very
happening.
sad. She worked her butt off for that role. She was
killed
selling
in the
it.
role.
So to say who May is, so the basic framing of this is you've got your group of young people. They streamline the roles a little bit in the musical, but in the original film, we've got two couples of young American high school kids.
Yeah, it was
And-
quite confusing having two of them.
Yeah.
So I'm quite glad that they squished them down into one for the musical.
And that English couple we were dealing with at every point. And then we have Jack and May. Jack being the drug pusher.
We fucking hate Jack.
Yes.
Piece of shit.
Jack is the one dealing the weed. He's the one getting these innocent children hooked, and
Yeah.
May is his romantic partner.
Kind of
Possibly.
tied in there. She doesn't really have a choice is part of the thing.
Yeah.
Especially in that
Yes.
society of the time.
Descriptions I saw of the original reference them living in sin,
Mm.
being unmarried.
Yeah.
And it's her house that all of the
Drug things happening.
goes down. And so the kids get hooked at the Five and Dime, or the Five and Dime is the musical. It's Joe's place.
Yes.
The original.
It got a new. I think it got a different name in the musical, which is interesting.
Yes. And so they get, good American kids get taken there. Our character Billy is invited there right next to the start of the film, and he's invited to a soda and he says, "Never touch the stuff."
Never touch it.
That's hard stuff. You can only have that when you're fucking 21. Come on.
So we know this is a little bit of a sinful place because it's serving soda.
Soda's scary. Almost as scary as marijuana.
But that's where the kids kind of get recruited to then visit May's place.
I remember in the musical he gets recruited because he's embarrassed that he can't dance as good as Mary.
Yeah. Jack was like, "Hey kid, you want to learn how to dance? Check this out."
And he does this hot tango with the lady behind the counter.
Who killed it, by the way, who also killed it.
Yeah, they were fucking hot. There's this bit where he lights a match on her shoe, and I'm like, bitch.
Okay, I see your game.
That was my favorite part of the whole dance. I'm not gonna lie.
That was great.
In the original, the bar person has like two lines.
I did like him.
In the movie.
I did like him. He has a good temper. Yeah.
They initially were going to cast Neve for Mary Lane, but they ended up having Christian Campbell,
Yes.
who played Jimmy in the stage.
Christian Bell.
They ended up having him.
Kristen Bell, yes.
Yeah, they ended up having him play Jimmy in the movie, and Neve Campbell is his sister. So they didn't really want to have them be the main lead, the romantic leads.
Yeah.
So she gets this much blown up role.
As she deserves. She fucking killed it.
Yes. She's actually an excellent actress, but when you see the DVD cover and it's got Kristen Bell, Christian Campbell, and Neve Campbell, you're like, what? Why are they making such a big deal out of her? But yeah, it's just they really wanted that in the film.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of iconic.
The other thing I noticed in the musical is that in the Five and Dime, they're all doing the Charleston. They're doing, very 1920s. It's a little bit swingish, but
It is a bit swing. It's a bit saucy like that.
Who cares? I'm vibing with it. I'm dancing.
It's very upright dancing, and when they get too close, Neve comes in and says, "Cool off with a multi-note." And
Gotta make space for Jesus.
It's only when they get to May's place that there's kind of more explicit swing.
Yes. That's how you know you're entering a den of sin.
The evil swing music.
But May, oh my god, her entrance in the OG film is so magical. She's fucking passed out in bed still, right?
Yes.
She's still in her lingerie pajamas. As 90s 20s women wore only silky pajamas with silky robes. And Jack comes in and he says, "Wake up, we've got some kids who need their marijuana." Basically. And she says, "Oh," and she gets out of bed like I get out of bed. Slowly and grumpily. And she has not cleaned, and he's grumpy about this. And this is her house, which is really funny that he's mad that she hasn't cleaned when it's her house. Apartment, rather. She has an apartment in the original. I like that they give her a whole house so the musical can stand better. But it is still heavily implied that this is her apartment and he's just walked in like he owns the place. And she just puts some stockings on, has a cigarette, and walks out to sort things out, you know. She doesn't really tidy herself up, which I respect. Why would you do that for such an immature and like rude guy? What's he done to deserve that, you know? She sells it. Like, she is a lot more dramatic than the other people in the OG, and I think that's why that she gets played up so hammily and so silly in the musical, is because they're like paying homage to her in a sense.
But she's much more three-dimensional in the musical, which I really like.
Yeah. Yes, she's a bit more open about her actual thoughts. She has a bit more room to breathe.
She stands up to Jack a little bit, although she gets slashed down, which there's none of that in the original movie. It's kind of, I kept expecting there to be this domestic violence, but I guess that would have been
they would have distracted from the themes.
Yes. Whereas, from a modern perspective, looking back on that, you're like, oh yeah, that was not a healthy relationship.
No, she literally screams out she sings about her relationship, and she sings out at her window over the neighborhood about Jack assaulting her. And then the whole neighborhood basically like freezes and stares at her, and she's like, oh, faux pas.
Oopsies.
Social faux pas, I must carry on.
Our introduction to May in the musical is her song The Stuff.
It's very good. Oh my god.
You get some good history of how Jack hooked her as a teenager, and this is why she feels so bad about hooking, being involved in kids at the same age.
Which is such a good layer of detail.
And she talks about how, Jack is rough, but, deep down he cares.
It's okay, babe, you'll get out of there.
He buys me the stuff, which is marijuana.
The stuff.
Surely Jack cares. Surely.
But as the song goes on, she stops talking about how he cares and she just talks about the stuff.
The stuff.
Which kind of reminds you that she's really not deluded herself that harshly. She knows it's about the stuff.
It's about the apex of the song is Priscilla referenced as, I like to have my fun, but the fun sometimes escapes me. When Jack gets stoned and sings out the window, rapes me.
That's the bit where the whole neighborhood freezes. It's so good.
And then
I choked on my spit when I saw that.
And then finishes with nothing numbs me better than the stuff. And so you get a real this case beating down women who has a principle that is hooked by this evil devil lead that he can play prisoner.
God, I enjoyed her so much, and it's a pity. I looked up the actress that plays her in the musical, and she's mostly done Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
I don't watch that shit, babe. I'm not American. They make so many references to their culture. It would go right over my head.
The only thing I know her from otherwise is she's the mum in Mean Girls.
I need to do a rewatch for her then. Just for her,
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, and I guess she's unfortunately much else.
That's a pity. She's very good. Oh, and then there's the theme of Romeo and Juliet that comes up a lot in the original. They actually talk about studying it and how it's so romantic. They literally talk about in the original how it's romantic and stuff, and then they really make fun of that They really put the satire in it in the musical.
They hammed it up in the musical, yeah. It's still a major like plot point, but
Oh
they
yes.
hammed it up immensely in the musical.
It's a really nice theme. It really highlights that they are these innocent, naive kids who have their whole lives ahead of them,
Yes.
and they can't wait to read the ending of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it turns out real swell.
it turns out
Surely it turns out real swell.
that they
you know?
were like
Sure.
Romeo and Juliet, you know?
Yeah,
They
and
were!
they have a very Romeo and Juliet ending.
It was really beautiful. It was actually, I actually was quite moved with that one last Romeo and Juliet scene that they shared.
The reprise is
That reprise is really good.
It was genuinely quite emotionally moving. For a silly satire musical, that was incredibly good. I loved that so much. One of the songs that I wouldn't mind seeing live if I ever had the chance. I have like a list.
Yeah.
I have a list of the ones that I would love to see live. What else have I got? Hang on. I gotta find the other ones.
I'm holding, I'm waiting, I'm holding, I'm excited.
I'm looking through my notes. You guys can talk about other things. You're allowed to.
Oh, okay, sorry. We were like, hold on, this is important, but alright.
Oh yes, the dream sequence song. That one I'd love to see live with the weed dream sequence song.
Oh yes, that's the next song.
The gal, Jimmy takes a hit. Jimmy takes a hit. Yeah. The OG.
Yes.
That one
This is when
would be one I'd love to see live.
Get lured into using the devil marijuana.
Marijuana.
The one also where the Mary Jane song, the bit where with the Mary Jane song that is sung after spoilers hitting the guy with the car, that would also be really good live.
Oh, Mary Jane, Mary Lane.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was actually one that was not in the original musical.
No.
Because that's the end of
Oh,
the
that was
start
a
of that too.
DVD exclusive?
Oh yeah, to the movie version, but that's one of the things that changed when they went back and made some of the movie changes to the stage show, is that they put Mary Jane Mary Lane.
Oh, okay.
That would have been so good. I think
Hopefully it's added in newer versions, in live versions from then on. That was a really good song.
It was fucking beautiful.
And so that's where we see that's where the kids get lured into using the drugs. In the original, they go over to May's place. Jimmy gets invited by his friends, but I can't remember if it's Mary or Agnes, whichever the girl, I think it's Agnes, who even this demo scene where they sit down and smoke is like, I think, and drink soda. She's far too virtuous to get sucked into that, but Billy gets sucked in.
He does.
Whereas, yes, the musical Jimmy gets tricked into going for some swing dance lessons.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I found interesting with the original is that he just gets handed a cigarette. You don't get told that it's kind of implied that this is a weed cigarette.
Yeah, they just act like it's a normal cigarette, and we all just sort of watching knowingly with horror.
Whereas they make it a bit more explicit in the
peer pressure aspect of it is more overt.
Yes, it's not a cigarette, it's a real smoke.
A real man smoke.
So Jimmy, both of them have the, unless you're scared, where the character initially is refusing to but then a little bit of peer pressure, which is one of my favourite song parts in Reefer Madness is the start of this, where
it's a very good song. It's very good.
It's such a good song.
Where Sally sings, come on Jimmy, suck it down to Sally.
Yes,
and
it's
then,
the tension. It's almost, you can almost feel the horror of the scene, you know?
And then Jack comes in with take a tea stick, and everyone just gets layered on top of each other.
Yeah.
Ralph comes down the stairs singing, don't be a chicken. And May is about as well, as much as she has refused.
As much as she hates it, she's going along with things. She can't help herself at this point.
She can't help it. Yeah.
Smoke it, you make choke it first, but then the worst is over.
Which
then-
I was like, wow, that's so good.
And then, so one of the things with the musical is it often cuts back to the PTA imaging, whereas I think it's just cinematography, like the first talkies were in 1927, so we're very early in cinema, let alone it being this cheap exploitation cinema. But whereas the musical cuts back and forth to the PTA imaging and the reactions of the heads. And so in this one, they actually come into the songs and don't you, don't be a fool.
Yes.
As he's being surrounded by these people pressuring him to take a hit. And they all, until he finally smokes the first puff, and
we all throw our arms up and cry with shame and sadness.
I said Jimmy.
And immediately is taken into this dream hallucination sequence.
It's so fun.
Where he's stripped naked by beautiful women and a couple of men.
Yep, there are men there. We can't forget about the homoeroticism of musical. We must have some homoeroticism in our musicals for the healthy ecosystem, you know?
Yes. And we also see the satyr, which is Alan Cummings, who's giving the lecture at the PTA, but he takes a number of roles within the show as well.
Yeah, he just pops up all over the place. It's so fun.
It's so quirky, funny.
Yeah. Folding in some satanic panic, which obviously wasn't around in the 1936 film.
No, but it works so well.
Yes.
It does.
It really just fits in like it belonged there the whole time.
I remember showing this to some friends when I was in back when I first saw it in uni, and my friend being like, this makes me want to do marijuana.
Right?
It does look like a lot of fun.
It does look so fun.
In the musical. Whereas, what I found interesting with the original film is it's very hard to make them intoxicated with weed look evil and horrific.
Yeah, they're just kind of cackling sometimes.
They just sit around and laugh. We're supposed to be scared by this.
That was just the stipulation around marijuana at the time. So remember, we're watching this in 2025. Our definition of
couple of things about Sally though that was really interesting for me is that they in Sally, they gave her very similar blonde curls to Mary. And I was like, is this a contrast that is on purpose? And I feel like it might be. And I mean, I also will just say that her outfit in the dream sequence is very Britney Spears. Like specifically when she had the snake, and on that one shot stage performance, and I loved it.
The other thing that comes out in that scene, or throughout the film, this is one of the points where you can tell that it was the people who did the stage show that have adapted it, because it feels very much like a stage show.
Yes, and I love that they didn't hold back on the original atmosphere at all. I find that I don't see a lot of musicals in general because I'm in middle of fucking nowhere. But also, a lot of musicals online aren't uploaded legally, so I don't have that access anyway. And a lot of them get striked very, very quickly. So the movies are usually my only way to view them. And a lot of the movies just do not pay homage to the musical format that they originally were in, and I find that kind of stifles them now that I see the Reefer Madness musical and I see how much they had fun with bringing from the original format. I go, this was the problem.
Yeah, you get the real chorus feeling and the pageantry of the dance numbers.
Yes, and I feel like that's clearly, I mean, as someone who is just stepping into the musical world with all the ego and knowledge of nothing, this is what is the problem with the movie musical adaptations, is they try to pretend they're not musicals that were performed on stage.
That is one of their biggest failings. I agree with that. They should just lean into the fact that, hey, this has been adapted for a musical. We are a musical. We're just on a movie film,
Yeah.
I think it's one of the things that makes this like one of my favourite movies is that it's a satire movie, and the way that musicals are constructed is a little bit silly. Like,
Oh,
it's,
yes.
you know, people
Yeah.
it's so like over the top, and so like it really plays into how they're trying to go over the top with this original thing, which was over the top in a different way, like in a propaganda way. So it's just such a good medium for making a satire of this.
Yes, musicals are
yeah.
so good for satire. I don't know why there's not more satire musicals. Although maybe I just haven't done my research. Again, a newbie to the musical scene.
I'm sure they're out there. I haven't found any.
It also means you've got a lot more ways of talking about the intentions of characters. Obviously, in movies, you generally have to show how they're thinking by their actions, whereas in a musical, you can have them sing a song about how they love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there was this one bit during the stream sequence though where they had like the clams.
Oh yes.
Yes.
The
Come on, Jimmy.
clams. So there's these like clams that are clearly puppeted, and they reminded me of Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors. And I really loved that.
Yes.
The original film based around giggling. In this film, you see Jimmy have a full-on like breakdown. It's flashing back and forth between the dream sequence and his real life.
It's
Which
really
in the
good.
It's
In
really
the movie,
good.
the way we see that Jimmy is going downhill is that is going downhill is that the principal sits down with them and is like, "Oh, is there anything going on?" You know, and you've just been told that he never lies. And the principal's like, "Have you been doing marijuana?"
Have you done the marijuana? Pinky promise you won't lie?
No, I sure haven't.
Gee golly whiz, principal, I sure
He's
haven't.
gonna study harder because his grades have come down.
Principal, what is marijuana? I've never heard of that before.
Whereas in the musical, we see Jimmy stumbling down the hall, running into things. We see him having dinner
Jimmy's
with his
another
family.
mess.
He goes so...
We see where there's pasta with clams, and the clams are going, "Reefer, Reefer, Reefer, Reefer."
Yes, I love those clams. I love those clams so much.
I love the clams are so cute.
They cut away to Jimmy like cowering from the clams, and then cut back to the family where the spaghetti has just been sprayed all over them. And
That was a beautiful sequence.
It was
and
really
then we
good.
see Jimmy get into the shower, and there's already someone in there.
And he's just like, oh, whatever.
He
Oh,
turns
whatever.
around, looks at her, she screams. He turns back to the camera and just grins. And it's very unsettling. But like,
It's incredibly unsettling and it's so good.
Yeah, it's a, we actually see that his life is going to shit, as opposed to just, his grades have gone down a bit, and
Yes.
laughing.
It's almost like showing people things instead of telling them things. It's like more effective.
Way more effective. Wow.
I really like the costume direction in this, by the way.
Yes.
How they go right from clean cut Jimmy to he's a fucking mess. His shirt isn't tucked in anymore to his pants. His sleeves are all over the place. I think he's only wearing a vest with his shirt, and that's also really messy looking.
I thought he wasn't wearing a vest. He had no vest on.
Oh,
it's a sweater vest.
It's a sweater vest.
Sweater vest?
That's what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
His hair is all bedheaded and like he clearly hasn't touched it. Like, it's a fucking disaster.
Opposed
And
to the very neat promo that he has.
I think they gave him under eye bags as well.
Yes,
They
They
gave
gave
eye
him
bags
very
and-
clear like makeup going on to help make him look
Exactly.
like insane.
Yeah, like dark makeup around his eyes, which
Yeah.
is meant to be like.
And he
But
does
he's
just-
he does like
makeup.
very like good body acting as well, where he often looks up at things to make himself look more ominous instead of looking directly at things.
Yes, there's just so many subtle like.
It shows in like
Movements.
the like it shows the amount of skill it takes to body act in musicals, because it means that you have to exaggerate your movements a lot more, but it means that you actually make more of an impact on the audience anyway on film.
Yeah, that is something that you can see they're doing kind of the stage, and the guy who played Jimmy played them on the stage. So they really do play out things in a way that you have to, for your expression to be kind of visible from the back of the stage.
Yes.
And it
You
just
need-
it adds to the comedy, it adds to the bizarre, like just the fun atmosphere of the whole movie.
It was so refreshing seeing such passionate body acting. People just stand there these days. I'm sorry, I hate it.
No, please. I'm in agreement. I'm sorry. I'm just like
It was like a balm to the soul, you know.
I think there's a place for
refreshing.
very serious drama acting, and there's also sometimes I just.
But that's the other thing is like drama acting can also have body acting, and they don't just need to stand there. I find that people can be quite lazy with their bodies and acting.
So we then get to where. What's this happening? Well, what's all of this doing to poor Mary /
Oh,
Agnes?
poor Mary. She doesn't know what the hell is going on. She's lost, poor girl.
And this is where, again, there's much more overt Christianity in the musical, which I was surprised to not see in the original. So we see Mary as
In church.
Yeah.
No, but so initially it's her she's going to play tennis with them.
Yes.
And
Yes.
instead, he's at May's place. Yes, the musical we see Mary in church talking about how she's all alone. It sounds called Lonely Pew.
Yeah, she's sad and lonely. No one's praying with her, and it's really sad.
It's even taking down her morals because someone asked if the seat next to her was taken, and she lied.
She
said
lied like
How
a
dare
filthy
she.
sinner.
How dare she lie in church, no less.
God saw you do that, Mary.
God seen it, caught in 4K.
Also, this is only for the lapsed Catholics out there. There's a line of the wafers now don't taste so good; they won't transubstantiate, which is a very Catholic deep cut, but just an amazing.
Yeah, I was very lost, and I was like, this is some Christian shit I don't know about. I'll just play along.
Okay, I'm gonna be real.
Transubstantiation is the bread and wine turning into.
Oh, the cannibalism thing they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot.
But I'm gonna be real. When I heard that, I was like, okay, look, I've had some wafers growing up. They don't taste like anything, so I don't know what your taste palate is like. You must be
Mary's
having
just
wax.
so innocent and sinful that she is so good at believing that things taste good when she knows it's
No.
Jesus.
Mary needs more seasoning in her meals. That's what.
No, she can taste the Jesus, but now without the love.
Yeah, exactly. She was.
They
She
just taste like wafers.
Yeah. It was. She's lost her spiritual joy for the cannibalism.
And of course, like a good, 1930s woman, she assumes everything's wrong with her. And this is in the case of both movies, that Jimmy's lost interest in her.
Oh,
because
baby.
She's boring.
You're not. Well, you're a bit boring, hun.
Just a tiny bit. but
You're a
it
bit
ain't your
boring.
fault.
You just listen to some fun music for once.
And then this is only in the musical. We then cut to it's nighttime, and Jimmy and Ralph are breaking into. Ralph being one of the people who frequent.
Yes, they
And we'll get to how
made
much
him look.
that is.
In the musical, they made him look just as disgusting as he should do.
Yes. It's very.
In the OG, he's
the
very
original, he
clean
looks
cut
like
and
everyone else.
tidy.
He was pretty well kept in the OG. I didn't even realize that he was a college student at
No.
first glance.
But in the musical, they're like, we fucking hate this guy. He doesn't get to look good at any possible time, and I really like that.
But also, he has a character design.
He does. He's not just some random
actually,
white dude.
He stands
Yeah.
out,
Yeah. He's
He
a-
also
he's a-
has the
he's a
under eye
stand-up.
makeup as well, like
Yes.
Jimmy does when he's on the drugs.
And so they're breaking into the church. They're doing the most awful thing you could possibly do. They're stealing from the donations.
They're not even stealing from the Vatican. They have gold there. You don't need to be stealing from normal people.
And then we have the statue of Jesus starts speaking to Jimmy.
He reaches
Jesus had
out.
no reason to be hot this time. I'm sorry.
Jesus was really hot.
Jesus
Yes.
was serving.
And then we have another kind of dream sequence with Jesus.
And Joan of Arc was there too, my girl Joan.
Yes.
She was. I liked the accent they did for her. I know it was like so fucking fake, but I liked it.
It kind of bothers me. It's one of the
I don't care if it was like
bothers me a little bit.
extremely forced. It was a good one, and I loved it.
Yeah.
She was really fun. I liked that she used like the pommel of her sword as like the mic, almost.
Yes.
Yes.
That was cute.
You're taken to heaven, and it's like a dinner club.
It's like a club, like a very classy club.
Yeah. And we have Jimmy come down from heaven, or come up to heaven, that's really cool, and sing to Jimmy about how we should give up the Reefer, it's causing problems. And this
Get high on Jesus instead.
Get high on Jesus instead.
Jesus looked fucking hot. Like
Yes.
that like V-dip that he was showing the whole time.
Yes.
That was obscene for Jesus.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Jesus fucks.
Definitely.
Jesus
In
fucks.
that time I needed.
In the stage show, Jack and Jesus is played by the same person.
Oh my
And
god.
This is the guy from the stage show. So he only plays Jesus in this. But reprising his role.
No wonder he was so good at the.
No wonder he fucking sold it so well. That was Jesus, for real.
Yes. He's so charming, he's so charismatic,
Oh,
and
he's incredibly hot.
absolutely
Guys,
owning that stage. Yes.
if you want to see a hot Jesus, look him up.
Yes.
Just watch the movie, all right?
And do that. But if you just want to see hot Jesus, you don't care what you don't like. If you don't like musicals and you just want to see hot Jesus, look him up.
I mean, just watch this. Watch the scene.
Watch the one song sequence.
Emotion.
Yeah, he moves really well. Actually, you should watch the sequence.
He's so good.
And it's again another example of very stage show like choreography.
Yes, it's beautiful. I love the hamminess of a stage show. I haven't talked about this before, but I used to go to. There was like a pop-up. You know, like the Circle Theatre that Shakespeare had his things done in England, like the proper one. So we had a pop-up one in our country that would tour,
okay.
And it was really like it was structurally good. It wasn't cheap, but it looked like the real thing, and it was like really big, and it was amazing. And they'd rent out a whole parking lot. It was so good, and there would be like, I would go to it all the time, and oh my god, I loved it so much. They did. I remember watching Caesar with an all-women's cast, and that was one of the last ones I saw before they lost their funding during COVID, unfortunately.
COVID.
But it was. I am really glad I saw that one in particular because there is a magic to seeing stage shows that you can never replicate completely with movies, and I am so happy that they did all they could to replicate it in the movie, and they didn't hold back at all in trying to put that magic in there.
Yeah, no, it's a very fun little number, and again, part of him playing it up, we see like Jesus.
He's hot.
Kind of takes the mic and he takes the mic. Like, he's doing like very campy stage comedy.
Oh, he's very
serving
campy.
so much. He's just electric.
So, Jimmy, I can't remember the line, but he says that, are you going to give up the Reefer, basically? And we see here, the camera zooms in, and Jesus is suddenly behind Jimmy holding up the mic.
Come on, Jimmy. Come on.
Come on.
I got a new god now. And
Oh my god, it was kind of a hard line. I'm not mad about it. He kind of
was
fucking
a hard
ate.
line.
He kind of fucking ate that one.
And then everyone in the club gasps at this.
How dare he?
I mean, I was like, my little sinful heart thought that was just the coolest line ever, and I hope to say something that cool once in my life.
That was a great line read, not gonna lie.
It was
And then
just a
Jesus'
good
face.
line as well.
Jesus' face is just like, well, that was a fucking waste of time.
Jesus did everything he could, okay? How many people does he pull up to heaven, to the club, and like have a whole song and dance at them? What a disgrace Jimmy is. I say, while also adoring what he said.
Yes. And it snaps his fingers and it all goes back. The stage show also has a reprise of Listen to Jesus Jimmy that was taken out just to keep things flowing. But apparently as much of Jesus comes back before the trial, and it's just like, you fucked up, son. You should have listened to me, and now you're going to go to hell.
Yeah, I think Jesus gets to be spiteful as a treat. He's gone through a lot.
He has gone through a lot. Let him, have some holy wrath in
Let's
the middle.
let him flip some more taxpayers' businesses. Let's let him not taxpayers, sorry, tax collectors. Let's let him fuck up some like rich people again. Just as a treat. He deserves it.
And I've got the musical numbers from this stage show up just to kind of contrast. There's a cut song, or a song that's cut in the movie, Lullaby to Sally's Baby.
Oh.
So Sally is a character that's
she had a
really
baby
in the original, and so she has a baby, and it's she's kind of implied to be a prostitute.
She neglects it quite a bit, yeah.
And the baby's constantly crying, and Sally's like, "Oh, damn baby," and screaming at the baby, and eventually sells the baby for reefer money.
Basically, yeah.
And this is again where they folded in the racism that's not evident in the original film, but it's evident in...
It's a good addition, though, because it extends on the idea that you will do anything for the reefer once you have it.
Yes. Yeah. But he sells it to a Chinese person who is implied that he's going to eat the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Which is...
Interesting.
As I said, the racism's not really in the original film, but it's quite relevant to include it, because all of the propaganda around...
Yeah.
And
oh my god, there's a woman in the lecture watching the film who's clearly Asian, probably Chinese, and she just kind of shrinks down in her seat when she sees that bit. It's really funny.
They cut back to the PTA meeting and everyone turns and looks at her, and she
just literally shrinks down in her seat. It's so funny.
And then next time we see her, the lecturer in the musical is very heightened, very played out, but he's ripping into people who kind of, in particular, there's one person who's kind of like, this is a bit screwy, this is a bit weird.
Yeah.
And
we love this guy.
So the next time the lecturer rips into him, she is laughing and pointing at him just like way louder than everyone else, just like, get the attention off me.
Yes. People will do anything to be part of the in-group.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yes. And then this is where I think in the original we get it's the other couple who I think that's Jimmy. Really confusing. Jack needs a ride, and Jimmy's got a car. He's borrowing his sister Mary's car.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely hopped up on the weed.
He's so high on the weed he can't even see his hands.
And so he drives like a madman, and they knock some guy down.
Yeah.
And as far as Jimmy knows, because Jack tells him later, is that this guy has been killed.
Yeah.
And this was interesting when I was reading that book, On the Trail of Marijuana. The car accidents was a really big thing that they were hyping up in terms of the propaganda of like, allegedly, when you're on reefer, you lose all track of time, like motion seems different. So the book opens with this four kids are killed in this car accident because they thought they were going so slow that they could walk faster. So someone jumps out of the car and they're like, she'll beat us there because she's walking.
Yeah.
And so, like, this is a big beat in both the films, is the hitting someone with a car.
Yeah. I mean, with any driving under the influence, it does affect your reaction speed, but that's about it.
Yes.
That's really about it, if we're being realistic.
Again, the book kept talking about how much worse it is than alcohol, and apparently they did recognise not driving as a problem back then, but I just kept coming back to these, like, marijuana will make you...
These horrific incidents,
Yeah.
The fear-mongering was strong.
But you won't be able to tell how fast you're going, and you will, like, ram into someone and die.
Mm-hmm. Totally realistic.
Yeah. So, yes, in the original, it's Jimmy who's driving, giving Jack a lift. In the musical, it's Sally who's driving, and because the weed is making both of them so horny, they're making out, and she's not looking at the road, and so they hit an man.
In the original, he doesn't die, but in the musical, he does.
Yes.
Which I think is a really interesting sort of extremity push to make the musical hit harder.
He is seen singing later on, but I believe
I think
the
he's-
story is that he dies.
I'm pretty sure he dies. I think it's just how it's just part of like combining the image of everything that's happened, so he has to be there.
Yeah.
And so this is another thing in the cinematography kind of advances, is that this is actually, it also plays into the fact this is coming up to the intermission in the stage show.
What a
But
fun
it's also-
intermission point.
That was that's a great.
But we do also get like you feel the movie turn at this point in the musical. Whereas the original is just very samey. It's all like, hey, where are we going? Come on. Like, there's the pacing, it's very gorgeous. It's very good, like, end of Act 1 tone. And we have again in the stage show, there's an Act 1 finale, and then they come back with Jimmy on the Lamb, and the movie gets replaced with Mary Jane, Mary Lane.
Which is a great song. I'm
Yes.
glad they included that song in the movie because it's so fucking good. And
That was
it's wild
good
that
song.
wasn't in the original musical because that's one of the ones I wanted to see live if I ever could. It's so beautiful.
Well, it isn't, I believe it's in the stage show now. If it's
Oh,
Let's
yes.
go.
Big win.
Good,
Big
good.
win.
Good. We like that. We like that.
So Jimmy's finally now realizing that the lead has problems. And so he sings Mary Jane, wreck me.
Oh my god, there's this scene, I had like a brain flash where I was like, oh my god, they're reenacting the Romeo and Juliet balcony scene.
Yes,
Yes.
it is another homage to that.
And I was like, that's genuinely, I was like struck by the beauty of that. It's, oh god, it's so pretty. The homage to it is genuinely so well done. And it's so gorgeous. And I love that that's like a constant theme that they pull from.
Yeah. And so Jimmy had taken Mary's car instead. And so that's how he's ended up back at Mary's house. He's singing about the Mary Jane. And he sings, I need you, I want you, I'm loved by. And then he sees that he's at the Lane house. He says, he's Mary Lane. And it switches over to Mary Lane. And how wonderful Mary Lane is. So he does the throwing a stone up to her window.
Yes.
Jimmy, what are you doing here in the middle of the night? It's almost 9 p.m.
It's almost 9 p.m.
It's almost past my curfew.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, she was dead asleep. She's in her nightgown.
She's a light sleeper. Oh my god.
Yes.
All it takes is was it one or two pebbles?
It was one. Yeah.
And again, that's a musical thing. It's got you can't.
Yeah, it's a musical thing, but come on, you can see.
It's very funny. It's very funny that she was such a light sleeper that she heard one pebble and was like, oh, it's Jimmy.
And the song transitions from being it's like, oh my god, it was horrible, to this really cute number between
It's
Jimmy and
adorable.
Mary.
It's so
And
good.
she has no idea what's going on.
She's got no fucking clue. She just knows
gets-
that she loves him.
Yeah, she gets the implication that he's maybe in a bit of trouble, but she's just overall impressing and all the cute little metaphors.
She's just a girl in love. And what does a girl in love do? She sticks by her man.
Yes. And so we get to the Jimmy gives Mary's pass ring, or he tries to. And this is something that's been building for a bit. This is going to give her his pass ring. It's going to make more official. And he goes to get it off, and munchies. You put on weight. I've been hungry all the time. And she very helpfully says, I'm never on the lips, forever on the hips. Which is one of those.
Very, very 1920s sort of sensibilities around weight, yes.
Fucking 1990s, like that.
Oh god, yes.
That's a long standing.
We are still fighting that mentality very much to this day. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she goes in to. Jimmy says he's got to leave. Says, well, if Romeo has to go, then so does Juliet. She goes inside to the room, but he has to leave her because he's in so much trouble.
He doesn't want to bring her down.
Yeah.
He loves
So he
her.
leaves. While she's in there.
And someone strikes.
Who is waiting there but Jack?
It's the dastardly villain.
So Jack has heard that over the radio that they're looking for someone in a package who has hit someone.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's come around and found it, and he's going to bring back to May's place so they can sit down. So let him lay low. I think this also kind of happens in the original movie, but this is a little bit later. It comes up after the death that happens a bit later.
Yeah, he does. Jack does like collect his little naughty people.
So
Little
Jack,
crew of naughties.
yes, he's still in good children, but profit enough. And so Jimmy's not going to take it because I'm through with the reefer and I'm through with you.
I'm not smoking that cigarette no more. You can't make me. Only
You
the
can't
good
do
God,
it.
only that good tobacco can have my heart.
And Jack says, "You like brownies?" And whips brownie out of his jacket.
You like brownies?
He just immediately goes, "Oh, I love brownies, actually.
Yeah.
Why would
Jimmy is so
why
naive.
would I believe that you're up to anything? I'm gonna eat this brownie."
No idea that it's true. And he
He's
takes it
such
and he goes to rip into it, and you can see he's still a good boy because he stops and he says thank you for the brownie.
It's a little animated song too.
Yes, and then we go into the
animation,
brownie
yeah.
song, which I have no idea how they did that on stage, because I looked up, it is a song that's in the stage show as well.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
In the movie, it is animated, and it is the most unhinged thing.
It's very good. I think it earned the
It's
animation.
very good.
Absolutely, I
It
can't.
Yes,
I think I'm
it's-
perfectly happy with this being an animated bit.
it's a great little moment where, again, as soon as you do leave, you completely hallucinate, and he sings about how much he loves his brownie.
He loves his
And
brownie
the
so much.
It's so good. I love my brownie.
And it's so sexual. We see him fucking a
He does
anamorphic
fuck.
brownie.
He does fuck the brownie gang.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
is going to get bad diseases in his little pee-pee.
Yes. But all that sugar is not correct.
It's not good for the health down there. Don't put food down there.
No, don't do that.
And we get a little flashback to the Jimmy takes a hit again. It's to the same kind of rhythm of the smoke it Jimmy, take a toke. But it's the other characters as fish go, eat the brownie, eat the brownie.
Brownie.
Eat the brownie. Eat the brownie.
The brownie.
And
It's
so
really very fun.
Jimmy, yes, Jimmy in this very stoned state gets taken away by Jack. And Mary comes out and, oh my god, Jimmy's gone.
Where's Donnie?
Jimmy's
Where'd he go?
gone.
Where'd he go? And she kind of tracks him down, doesn't she?
Yes.
Yes.
I think she.
And so, yeah, this is between both the movies. This is where Mary, in the original movie, she didn't want to go to May's place, or she didn't want to go with her to Joe's place.
No.
And so, the original movie, King's Agnes, ends up at Joe's place, and we see that Joe is in on it a little bit, because he kind of looks at her and is like, I'm not going to tell you
People
about
are all
May's place.
really, really weird about her in the original movie. I
Yeah.
won't lie. Everyone looks at her like really creepy, and it's very. I am glad that she. I get the feeling that she sees them looking at her like that, and she just kind of pretends she doesn't because she wants to be like happy.
I think in the original, she's the virgin that needs to be sacrificed to show how evil. Like, she is the archetypal. She's the pure woman. She's so naive. She's not even going to go to the soda bar.
No, she didn't even know what soda is.
No.
Which is crazy, but hey, back then.
I mean, I think this is past having cocaine in it, but
Oh my god.
And so the bartender, he looks like a bartender. Like
He does look like a
glasses.
bartender.
Yeah,
I think they might have done that on purpose to sort of give the impression that he is, maybe unwittingly, a entry point for adult activity.
Oh no, I think he
Yes.
knows. I think he knows what's going on, because he sizes her up first before he says, "You seem cool," and then gives her May's address. He's like,
Yeah.
trying to size up if she's a cop.
Yeah, he says, oh, no, this is clearly not a cop. This is a child. She can go in.
And so, yeah, gives May's address, and so that's how she gets lured to this dinner scene. And similarly, Mary in our musical that follows Jimmy and ends up in the dinner scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a rough scene to watch. I was actually
Yes.
quite upset while watching it.
Yes.
Very, very normal to be upset by the scene. I don't know if anyone in the audience has any drive to see the original movie after listening to us. I will say there is a very aggressive sexual assault scene.
Yes.
So I mean, if you still feel like watching it, please do it at your own discretion. Keep yourself safe, you know.
Yeah. Big flashing,
With-
content warning sign
yeah.
here, editor.
Yeah. Having seen the musical first, I was really hoping it was going to go another way, but it's just a straight up, like, rape.
Yeah, the musical
It's not
version of that
completed.
scene, they're definitely dragging him through the dirt, we'll say.
Yes.
So, in both versions, Jimmy has, under the effects of the weed that of course makes him hypersexual, as we all know, he's hooking up with Sally or with Mary, just to make it really confusing. I'm pretty sure it's Mary.
No, the other woman in... Isn't the other woman called Blanche?
Blanche,
It's
yes.
Blanche as well. I forgot about
Blanche. Oh, right, there were two of them.
There's-
God. Blanche is such a
There's
unsexy
Blanche.
name.
Yes, I think that's why they changed it to Sally. Is no longer believed that Blanche is
It's such an...
girl's world.
It's very interesting because I think that Blanche used to be very a name for very saucy people for a while, but now it's kind of seen as like very pure.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not so much pure. I think just old. I think
Well,
that's
you
a
know,
lot to do with the
Pure
golden
because it's associated with our grandmas.
Yes, and
Grandmas.
we all know that, once you're over 50, you just,
Maybe it was like a very commonly used sort of like fake name. Like, you know how people in sex work often have fake names that are clearly fake? Like
Yes.
Fruits
Yes.
or like Kitty or
Yeah.
whatever. Maybe it had that connotation because maybe a lot of people used it like that and it had that connotation because of that. Because it literally just means white.
Yes. Probably.
honestly, there are 4 women in the original film: Blanche, Agnes, Mary, and May.
Too many.
I could never tell which one was which.
Well,
They're
they're all very, very white, and most of the women are blonde.
Yeah. Anyway, Jimmy is hooking up with someone in both versions of the film.
Both him and the woman are under the influence.
Yes. And Ralph, who in the original has been stalking Mary for a bit.
Yeah, he's
Whereas
creepy as fuck. We hate
he-
Ralph.
Yes.
Ralph is something.
Ralph is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Whereas in the musical, he sees her through the peephole in the door and is like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get this one."
Yeah, he's like
And so,
his very casual horn dog nature is a bit different.
yes. And so they usher Jimmy and whichever paramour he has so that Ralph can do horrific things.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so I think it's probably better to talk about the original film first.
Yeah. Get it out of the way.
Yeah, he gets Mary on the couch, he offers her a cigarette. Again, there's no kind of flagging that it's a weed cigarette, it's just a cigarette in this one.
Mm.
And she's giggly, she gets a bit flirty, and then even though, the weed's making her so hypersexual, it turns. It goes from just being, like, she's into it a bit, and then he starts just, like, pinning her down, and
It goes from
no.
hypersexual to very, very aggressive, very quickly.
Yes.
very clearly, she's yelling no, he is pushing on
He
everyone. And
has ripped his shirt as well, which
yeah,
is incredibly... With knowing the connotations of showing skin at the time, is incredibly upsetting.
Yes.
And it's very, it's also depicting a kind of rape that we didn't really acknowledge that daybreak even up into the 90s was considered like a joke. But it's just, she was into it initially for a little bit. But it was under the influence that she was, she was being a bit flirty with him. And then she wants him to stop and doesn't.
Yeah. It's... As soon as, active and continuous consent is, really the only way to be doing it, gang.
Whereas...
Enthusiastic, even, if we can, please.
Yes.
Enthusiastic, please. We want people to have fun. And she's not having fun.
Sexy.
No. The musical is still a but it's
different.
Much more pleasant to watch.
It's very silly.
So,
I definitely get the impression that the people who watched the movie originally, and they were like, we're going to make fun of it. And then they got to that scene and they were like, we need to make Ralph have the worst time of his fucking life.
Yes. Ralph deserves
And
all the comeuppance.
I enjoy that greatly. Basically, she becomes a dominatrix.
Yes.
Mary comes in. She says she's there for Jimmy, so Ralph knows that she's Jimmy's girl.
Yeah, he knows. He shouldn't be overstepping the bro code,
And he offers her a cigarette, and she says, wait, this isn't one of those Reefer cigarettes I've heard about.
Reefer.
She's a bit more educated on them at this point. She's like, I've heard about these in my newsletters.
And he says, oh no, very.
It's an exotic. It's an exotic one.
And what tips over is that it's popular with the girls in Paris.
Paris, yes,
Paris.
it is a French cigarette.
Everyone knows that Paris is the home of fashion. And women love fashion.
Interestingly, one of the ways that we know Ralph is a bad guy in the original is that his parents got a divorce in Paris.
That's true. They had a divorce.
Oh yes, I remember that.
I wonder if that's definitely going to be a throwback.
Yeah. And so one puff, she starts feeling funny. My head feels funny, Ralph. I think you tricked me. And then he starts to push it towards being sexual, and from the moment it turns sexual, Mary is in control.
She's in control by an amazing amount. I was adoring this scene. I was on board.
Yes.
I was hooshing and hollering.
It abruptly changes from May's rundown house to a
Sex dungeon. Yeah, basically, yeah.
I think initially Ralph is still in his own clothing, but Mary is in a very skimpy leather
Ralph
outfit.
very much wanted to be the type of guy who takes a girl's first time and takes her innocence and but she's still kind of cute and innocent about it. He wasn't on board for this, and I think that's hilarious.
Yes. And it's very clear, she starts talking about we'll play with nipple clips.
Yes, she talks about very specific toys. She knows what these are.
Now hold on, Mary Sunshine. Let's not get carried away.
Let her get carried away. She's cooking.
She's cooking.
To get carried away.
Suffer, Ralph, suffer.
And it becomes more and more clear that Ralph is not up for what she's into, but Reefer has blown out her mind, as they say.
She's found her hypersexual joy, and she's found her kinks, and she never, as long as the kink is a fun time, usually I'd be like, this sucks for Ralph, but I hate Ralph. And this is clearly a revenge act from the original movie.
I mean, even in this movie, he was going to, he was planning to rape her. He was drugging her with this.
Oh yes, he was 100% planning to rape.
And so it feels much more
yeah.
having it turned on him.
I think it's very cute.
Also,
and she looks great in that outfit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
If you are attracted to women, Kristen Bell in skimpy leather is a selling point of this movie.
She's selling the dominatrix look so fucking good.
She went so hard.
I will say the blonde curls with the dominatrix leather is the contrast is just killing it for me. It's just stunning. She's cooking, I do love a bit of contrast in a look like that.
And we keep seeing it flash back and forth between this fantasy sequence and what's actually going on in real life, where she has taken Ralph's belt and is using it as a whip. And
yes, She's so inventive. She's like such a creative gal.
And so, you know, we go to that saying, crazy tomatoes are raping me. Just.
I mean,
it's just, I think it's a really good balance of like, they're not making fun of her.
they're not erasing the fact that something like that happened in the original film, but they're like easing it a bit for the audience.
They're playing it up to absurdity.
Yes.
And that's the humour of it, not the fact that someone's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we then go back to the real world where Ralph gets knocked to the floor and Mary starts riding him. And when he tries to speak, he's got an apple like a gag in his mouth. She says, "Shut up, bitch," and elbows him in the face.
It's good. Because, I mean, his voice isn't very sexy in this scene. It's very fair of her to be doing that.
Yeah.
Girl's got to do what she's got to do.
And then in this film, in both films, this is where the really good turning point happens.
Yeah.
I think in the original, May sees them and she goes to grab Jimmy.
She's like, "That's your girl."
Yeah. He might be May though, and goes and gets Jimmy. Jimmy comes in, beats the shit out of Ralph.
As he deserves.
Very
much deserves. And then people start like, "Oh, he's going to kill him."
Well, then Jack comes in.
Mm.
And Jack has his gun, sees a villain.
The villain.
Well gone.
I remember us all laughing in the original film when he pulls out the gun, but in the original film, he just takes it out like a club. Like he's got no intention of using it as a gun. He just
what was the point?
Whips it out. Yeah.
Just carry a baton or something, or get some knuckle dusters. I don't know. Man, why you've got a gun?
I think brass knuckles or knuckle dusters are illegal at that time.
Knuckle dusters are really cool, actually.
They really are.
Well, I mean, we need the collateral damage. We need the sacrifice.
Oh,
So
the
she can
sacrifice.
get into a physical scuffle. The gun goes off. Mary / Agnes, maybe.
There's many white women who look the same. It's a struggle for all of us. Don't worry. But yes, she gets shot, and it's a tragedy. Actually,
Yeah.
it's worse. It's like a culminative scene of like, first she was attacked and then she was shot.
And the difference in ball levels was very interesting as well. In the original, it's just this tiny hole with the bullet wound, and she's just burnt those.
Well, yes, it can't be gory. That would be bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
She's,
We gotta follow the rules here, you know?
yeah. She's appropriately in a pool of blood in the burns.
She's drenched.
And we get the replies of Romeo and Juliet.
It's so beautiful.
It is.
It's genuinely magical.
And
Yeah.
Mary asks Jimmy if he ever read the end of the book. Did they write it until they grew old? And Jimmy told what May and Jack do.
It's just
Reluctantly shake their heads.
they're like,
Not the head shake.
We gotta be real with you, babes. They don't make it. You're more alike than you thought.
But Jimmy tells Mary that they loved until they grew old. They had 6 babies, and everyone came to their wedding, and obviously not that order.
Jimmy tells
6
another
babies.
lie.
Yeah.
They don't have a baby on the 7th day because it's Jesus' rest day.
We've actually skipped over slightly. In the original, Jimmy gets knocked out in the... Actually, I think, no, in both. Jimmy gets knocked out in the fight.
Yeah, Jimmy gets knocked out.
And Jack puts the gun in Jimmy's hand, so that when he regains consciousness, he thinks he was shot. And that's where this sort of tragedy happens.
It's horrific, actually. Poor kids.
Yeah. And so the police come, having heard the gun, and I think it's very just matter of fact and skip over in the original, but the police come in and May tells Jimmy, like, you're being framed, so he now knows. He begs, like, May to the truth about what's happened to the cops.
It was her small attempt to do something while Jack was around.
But Jack, like, is behind the cops, just like subtly threatening her.
So she can't say anything when the cops are there.
Yeah.
No, it's like Jack said. This kid just came in to think he was on the Reefer.
The dreaded thing.
And so Jimmy gets carted away by the cops.
Created by hell itself, surely.
Then, in the original film, we then get the trial, which they skip over, and I think it's a very good choice to skip over.
It was pretty dreary.
It was...
Nothing happens.
It's the thing about a trial in a movie is that it's so hard to make it interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like,
in the exploitation movie, it was like, yeah, it makes sense, but it was such a nothing burger for you.
Yeah,
it was.
Guilty. And the whole debate in the trial is about maybe he was briefly insane when he did this. He's like the potential argument. And I had one juror who's a holdout. He's like, I don't know, I think this temporary insanity thing makes sense. It's like, no one shoots someone when they're in a great mental state. Like, murder is something that you do when you are...
No, it's not like a sane person's activity.
Yeah, it's not like someone who's calm and collected, generally.
That's why people who like a history of reckless violence are also known to eventually commit murder. Like, committing violence regularly does not equate to a very well-balanced individual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Committing murder eventually isn't shocking because of that.
There's a whole different tangent that we go into, but it's just a very odd trial, and I think it's more so that the principal can testify to the dangers of marijuana. It's more the point of that scene in the original.
It's just they're just more propaganda pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotta keep pushing.
Yeah.
As if they're not pushing hard enough already. God damn.
Well, they gotta push harder. Yeah.
So that obviously ends with Billy being found guilty. And then this is the part in both films where you keep things on the line, so that the cops don't find out what happened, and so that Ralph in particular doesn't break.
Yep.
And this is where the musical is just really going off the rails, completely playing it up insane.
Yeah, they fuck him up. They fuck him up good.
Yeah. So, in the original, Ralph is yelling, "Shut up," and he's really wound up.
Yeah, he's just kind of walking around, pacing, grumbling about things.
Going insane. Whereas in the musical, we get him having hallucinations of Jimmy coming and saying, "You murdered me," and then Mary comes and says, "You murdered me," and then he ends up in the backyard where the weed is being burned and sees the souls of all the children that have been murdered by marijuana.
Yep. All those people he murdered. He did that.
And so, actually, the tracking
Ralph. Sorry, I'm like, every time I hear Ralph, I'm like, eee.
Yeah. I think, having seen the original first, I could see why you had absolutely hate Ralph.
Yeah.
Whereas he's a little, if you see the musical first, he's still a shitbag, but
it feels a bit unnecessary. All the stuff that is attacked to him, it feels a bit unnecessary. But once you see the OG, you're like, oh, I get it now. That makes sense now.
In the musical, part of him starting to lose his shit is that he mentions being hungry. That's Sally. And
my girl Sally.
Yeah, Jack and May go out to get food. When they come back, Ralph has murdered Sally and started eating her.
He ate her.
Yes.
Ate her so much.
Is another thing I thought was in the original film, but I I went digging so far to see if there's another film I heard about. There was no parallel with this whole book. I was like, where does the cannibalism come from? And it was not one of the plays that I could find. So this is, I think, just them turning it up to 11.
That's kind of cool though. Giving them hungies so bad they turn into zombies is kind of fucking genius.
It really is.
And like, yeah, it certainly plays up the horror and the it's like campy horror nature in this section.
Oh yes, I was like, oh, it's my turn on the horror.
And the original propaganda probably stopped short of this just because it would have been too horrific for people.
Oh no, 100%. That would have been too gory for their sensibilities.
Which we see in the musical, cutting back to the PTO movie, women are fainting, and Alan Cummings is saying, with Harvey Pioneer, women would have had a laugh at them, but then, yeah, Jack murders Ralph.
He does. I will say Jack looks fucking fantastic in the suspenders and white tank top.
Yes.
He looks very hot in this one scene. Even though he's evil and sucks, he looks really hot here.
Evil.
I mean,
if evil, why hot?
If
Moment,
evil, why hot? You know?
Yeah. I will say, I do like a man who can rock suspenders, though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's a good fucking look.
It's a good look for him.
It makes the body bulge in a very fun way.
Actually, one of the interesting, the song is called Murder at this point, and when Ralph is advancing on them, May is shouting and murder him along with the chorus as well. So
yes, she's really good in this.
Yeah,
she really
is great for May.
Astounding.
Stellar May moments.
Especially our next one, so...
Yes, she's really getting a lot of room to shine in the drama and the pain of it all.
And so, Jack is completely unfazed by everyone being dead. He makes a joke about, we've finally got the place to ourselves. And May is...
having a meltdown, very reasonably so.
Yes.
Yeah, it's reasonable, you know. Given the circumstances.
She starts seeing the spirits of the kids that they lured into being even murdered. She goes and grabs a hoe. And says she's going to deal with that big, fat...
And this is really hot, actually, to me. Specifically, this is very, very hot. I love a woman who will do some horrific things like this.
Jack holds up his gun. He tells her, say goodnight, Gracie. And click.
He's run out of bullets, the silly bastard.
He has forgotten to count how many shots he has fired. Oh no.
The silly little bastard.
It's the strength that Val had from the weed let him survive until he was shot the 6th time and impaled on a pole.
Because marijuana makes you, like, obscenely strong.
Absolutely.
Unnaturally strong, even.
May obeys his command and says, good night, Gracie. And then this is like the most satisfying part of everything. Just like starts grunting out a song and beating the shit out of Jack with his hoe.
Go get him, May! Get him!
Fucking serving so much cunt in this moment. I was living! And this is why I'm so mad she isn't in more stuff, because she's so hot when she does shit. She's so good. I'm mad. Girl, give me more.
And like, it's part of why it's so good is because of how strong her performance is through the whole thing.
Yes! Like, she carries the whole fucking thing. Every time she comes on screen, we're pointing, we're screaming.
We're sitting up straight, we're clapping internally, we're cheering, we're hooting and hollering.
You've seen this beaten down woman who's being, like, coerced into doing things she doesn't want to do. Is being beaten and finally just snaps, beats the shit out of Jack, and eventually tears his heart out and holds it up, like covered in blood, holds the heart to the sky, singing about it's a reprise of the stuff.
Yes.
So previously, the song that was about her
being morose and almost had decided she wouldn't try. Like, oh
Yeah.
god, what's the term? She'd like
It's
given up.
complacency with like
Yeah.
she's just like, this is my situation, it sucks, but you know, he cares, he gets me stuff, and now she has been the final lines I have been delivered from the stuff, and she puts the heart above the head.
Let me look up the actress's name real quick. Hang on.
I
need
And
to
I can
shut-
say that.
I need to shout her out.
Hold on, I got you. I got it.
And I guess they are.
Anna Gasteyer.
What a
Do you
good
need me
name.
to?
What a good fucking name. Guys, if you're like Saturday Night Live watchers, if you can recommend any like clips of hers, put it in the comments, please. I want to see more of my queen.
I would like to see more of her.
I hope please
Hi,
put it in
Anna.
the comments. Just like even if you just can, if I know that like YouTube is messy with links, so if you just like know the name of like the skit she's in, that's good enough. Please.
On the off chance you see this, Miss Gasteyer,
please.
we're so
Anna,
we're
you're a
cheering.
queer icon to me.
We're hooting and hollering for your performance in Reefer Madness the Musical.
I will say, I love a woman who is like, has hit her last straw, and she doesn't do it quietly. She does it
yes.
messily, she does it big, and
Yes.
she makes the whole world see it. I don't like it when someone hits their last straw and does it quietly. Like, they just sort of cut things off.
No,
like,
you gotta
whatever.
go out.
I
Speaking
go
of
out
someone-
in a blazing glory, you know?
Go
someone
off! Go
hitting their
off!
last
You gotta go
straw.
off.
Quiet and disappointing way is how it plays out in the original film.
Which, I mean, I
Yeah.
get, but it's...
Yeah.
Man.
So
Man.
Ralph loses his shit and he does go to attack Jack, and unfortunately Jack survives.
He does.
I can't remember.
It fucking
Yes.
sucks that he survives, but he does.
As does Ralph, but Ralph is completely insane now and ends up in an asylum. And May goes to the principal and the judge for some
Yeah.
reason.
She
to tell them that-
she tells them everything. She feels a massive overflowing of guilt, I think.
And the judge is like, how do I know she's not just making this up so that she'll get clemency? And she's like, I don't want clemency.
She says, I'm not
just
doing
want
this
out.
for myself, I'm doing this for the kids.
And so the judge is like, cool, I'm just going to overturn that jury decision.
Which is fucking hilarious. We all kind of went, hang on.
Wait, that's illegal.
Not going to reopen the case, just like, oh no, okay, Billy's innocent.
Yeah, we're not doing a
One person
retrial on
testified
this.
to it.
We're not doing a
We're
retrial
just
based on
skipping
new
the retrial,
evidence
you
or
know?
anything. We're just going to say bad. Jury did bad. We ignore them for now.
I'm gonna, yeah.
It's
this
very
one
funny.
person, completely right. We're skipping all the process, due process. We're just gonna say that
Yeah.
they're free. You know,
It's so fucking
not guilty.
funny. It's so funny. I've never seen this in any like depiction of law before. Ever.
Because it's completely not the point.
No!
Oh, okay, we need to wrap this up, so overturn the verdict.
Oh my
But
god.
then May is being taken away, and she sees the window.
She is her guilt attacks her soul so severely that she just makes a running leap at that window.
yes.
Out she goes, and she's dead.
Yeah. Which is it is like a martyrdom for her, I imagine.
Yes, yeah.
Very much a martyrdom. I think this is also partially I think I'll always love the original May as well as the musical because of just how well she does it and like what her storyline kind of is if you think about it. Like the musical people did.
Interestingly, the original stage show had a similar ending. May tries to save Jimmy but is unable to, and she jumps out a window.
Oh my god, that's wild.
It was one of the evolutions before the movie.
Right.
That they did change it to this sort of happy ending.
It's very I have to say I prefer this ending because they have that very
Yes.
heavy pointed political song at the end that I was grinning
Yes.
throughout.
Yes.
Uh,
And so that's kind of the end of the original film, is that Jimmy gets off because the trial's overturned, and he's going to tell people that he was of marijuana, and Ralph is incurably insane and he's going to go to an asylum. And this is explicitly in that book that I read. They say that this is end stage marijuana because you go insane and end up in the insane. It's inevitable that people who regularly use
It's
marijuana-
inevitable that you go fucking cuckoo melon.
Yeah. And
You go
talk a lot
you go
about-
crazy joker mode.
Yeah. The initial symptoms of use are just finding everything funny. But he lays out 8 stages of marijuana use that you'll remember.
Oh my god.
And yeah.
Oh my god. These things where people make up stages for things is so funny because people jump around them all the time, no matter what they're talking about, no matter how factual or not they are. They jump around throughout progress because the human mind is not like a strict rule, like line of things that it always does. It's a very flexible machine. It's the stages for anything in regards to humans. It's fucking hilarious to me. We jump around a lot in regards to progress on all sorts of things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like, just, it doesn't need to be said, but most people who use weed for a long time are fine.
Yeah.
Like,
I in fact follow a streamer group called RTVS, and most of the members have a history of using weed, and like every 420 they have a 420 stream where they also just have a fun time partaking. And they're very sane and normal people. They're a bit silly, but that's about it.
there are some people, like if you're vulnerable to schizophrenia or to social psychosis, it can trigger those.
But that's the case with any I feel like that's the case with any illicit substance.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's not like a marijuana thing, it's just a drug thing.
Yeah.
And I am including alcohol as a drug in this just for the listeners' awareness.
So going to the actual musical, we have May
Drenched in blood, absolutely
Drenched in
covered in it. The best way for a woman to be.
She wraps up the heart in some newspaper, which
Very tidy of her, very cute.
And conveniently, the headline is that the president is going to be in town at 6 p.m.
Yeah, he's going for a little
the
walk
words in
around
the headline,
town.
And she looks up at the clock. It says 6 p.m.
She starts, I imagine she just does like a full body sprint to the march.
Oh no! But before that, she looks in the mirror and applies her lipstick.
Oh yes,
Hey,
you
you
need
gotta
your
have-
lipstick. You gotta,
You gotta
have your
lipstick,
lipstick.
alright?
Okay, no matter what, no matter how,
You
what
gotta look
you do.
presentable.
Completely ignoring that she was covered in blood.
No. You don't understand the importance of having your lipstick match your blood, alright? Match your blood on your body, alright?
She puts on the lipstick. She looks at herself and is like, "Yes, this is a look that I can work out and talk to the president."
I mean, she's right. She looks fucking hot. It definitely catches his attention. I love a woman covered in blood. It's great.
Well, President Roosevelt agrees with you.
I don't know much about the American presidents, but I find it interesting that this is the first time I've seen a president in a wheelchair.
She runs over to the parade. The Secret Service tries to stop her. She has lost, because she stopped using the weed, she's lost her superhuman strength.
She can no longer Hulk out.
She gets decked by one of the Secret Service officers, but then
We hate the Secret Service. We hate them
Yeah.
so much. They're evil. They're evil for this.
she then headbutts the Secret Service officer in the nuts and crawls through his legs and throws herself inside the presidential motorcade. The Secret Service officers swarm on her, and the president, played by Alan Cummings, is the lecturer.
Our man again, once again, Alan Cumming.
Hold on, boys. I, for one, would like to hear what the blood-spattered young woman has to say.
To say.
Blood spattered is very generous of him.
How kind of Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Blood soaked is
off
what
the
I would have
parade.
said, but he's very generous like that, I imagine.
Yes. And so we then cut to Jimmy, who's in the electric chair, about to pull the switch, and in comes May and the president.
The most important people in the film, apparently.
For a presidential pardon.
It's okay,
and
Jimmy. We got the president.
And then we go into
The
song,
president.
to tell him the truth, which is the political song that we referenced earlier.
Yeah.
Talking about how they're telling the truth. This is the call to action. This is the kind of playing back to the original musical, the original movie, where we get a little speech from the principal who talks about how it's going to affect you, and points to the camera in a way that I imagine is very shocking at that level of cinema. But nowadays it's like hacky as fuck. And so they sing about how they're going to tell everyone the truth, they're going to destroy the Reaper, and they're going to use the papers of Randolph Hearst. Again, in digging back through this, I discovered that Hearst hated Roosevelt and led a lot of attacks against him. It was not at all a collaboration between the two of them.
Oh.
It was much more just Hearst leading his own attack, and Harry J. and some head of Bureau of Narcotics. Don't know. I think Roosevelt was as anti-League as anyone at the time, but I don't know if he had.
I will say I am no expert on the American presidents. I cannot speak on this.
I'm a bit rusty, but I do know Franklin Delano Roosevelt was paralyzed, like had a physical condition or like something that made him wheelchair bound. Yeah, polio. Okay, it was polio.
Many such cases at the time, I imagine.
I think he got it. This is a bit of a tangent, but I think he got it a little bit before he ran for president, and so during his campaign, they tried to hide the fact he couldn't walk, and like they would have him. He tried to not get photographed in the wheelchair, and they were doing their speeches. He would be leaning on someone so he could pretend he was able to stand, but then it never really came out, and we got the image of FDR that we have now. But, yeah, interesting little.
I guess they would have viewed him as weak on the presidential campaign trail if they saw that he was disabled.
They absolutely didn't know weak. But yeah, so we sing about how Uncle Sam wants to drop the joint, and this is where the tail and the PTA meeting kind of merge. We see the PTA meeting march out of the room, carrying torches.
Oh my god.
And we see a black family get very scared and run back inside.
Very fair. Very fair.
Yeah,
I understand this.
Very understandable reaction.
And we see them gather around a huge bonfire, throwing weed, and...
When have we also... It's just interesting the way the bonfire was sort of like...
Framed.
Sort of like framed.
Yeah.
It reminded me of other sort of historical bonfires.
And we get the lines. The final lines, and once the Reaper has been destroyed, we'll start with Darwin and Sigmund Freud, and sex depicted on celluloid and communists and queens.
Yes.
When dangers near, exploit their fear, the end will justify the needs.
Of course. I was feeling this sort of American patriotism allergy flaring up in me when I was listening to this song a bit, but the pointed critique was keeping me going.
Yes.
This movie is worth it just for... I mean, it's a good movie, obviously, but this song at the end is such a good, aggressive critique of American patriotism and nationalism that I would recommend just looking it up.
Yes.
Telling the truth is the name of it. So.
Yes, it's fucking amazing.
We did also skip past it. That song has a lot of aspects to it, but Jimmy cuts down all the lead the Jack was growing, and we see Mary, who has been chained by the devil, but as they're cutting down the lead, the devil dissolves, and Mary...
They kill the devil!
Yes.
Jesus couldn't do that.
The devil ceased to exist.
Jesus couldn't do that. Jesus. All he had to cut down was some weed.
And the manacles
Silly
fall
Jesus.
off Mary, and the camera pans back up to show her now as an angel. She starts floating up to heaven. She says she'll wait for Jimmy in heaven.
Yeah.
Says he'll wait
it's
for her.
Genuinely really cute.
She gets up to heaven, she rings the doorbell,
Yeah.
and she gets let in, and it's the club that
It's the club with Joan of Arc and Jesus, and it's really cute.
She runs up to Jesus, who lifts her up into the air and spins her around.
It's cute. It's so cute. Mary deserved that. She's sweet.
She does.
I like Mary.
So that was one of the changes that was added from the musical and then from the movie, then going back to the stage show, is this sort of happy-ish ending where...
I think it's deserved, 100%.
Yeah.
It's quite an intense movie at times, the musical as well. I think some levity is required to make it through.
Yes, and that's one of the great things about the movie is that it's horrific at times, and it's really played on those horrific themes, but it just turns it up so much that it's absurd.
Yes.
And it makes it much more pleasant to
it's genuinely one of... I have said before, my only real exposure to musicals has been like a couple of Star Kid shows. So I haven't really seen the proper Broadway stuff before. Like, not that Star Kid is like mediocre or anything. I love that shit. However, this is a completely different field, you know. And it was genuinely like a great intro to the medium. I greatly appreciate you suggesting it. It was a fucking amazing time. I loved it. It was magical.
It's such an unknown movie, and it's so good.
I'm happy
I'm really glad that you could bring it to our attention.
A couple of other notes that came up that I haven't mentioned. There's one bit in the movie where he talks about how marijuana slows down the user's sense of time and allows musicians to squeeze in unnecessary grace notes that hypnotize white women.
Yes! The evils of jazz and blues. They make white women. They make the white woman interested in black music.
What I just assumed this was pure satire. When I was reading, there are multiple mentions to, like, it allowing people to play crazy music. There was an article by the country top logist, the Assassin Review, that said others of mediocre musical ability become almost expert. The piano dinged constantly. And that book talked about like how the slowing down time allows a musician to play, and so if anyone in the band is using marijuana, everyone has to.
Well, you know what you have to do, Azel. to become a better musician, you know what you got to do.
Get high.
Yes, now you know how to do it. I got to get high too because I'm gonna start singing. I need to get high. This is the only way I can become a better musician. Clearly.
Immediately.
Listeners, please do not listen to us in this regard. Partake at your discretion, please.
Oh my god, we've said so much bullshit in this episode.
We really did, but hey, look.
Some of it's been serious. Right? Some of it's been serious. Most of it's been silly.
I'd say a good chunk of it is serious, but also, like, come on, it's Reefer Madness.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. It's impossible not to get a bit serious, though, with the topic.
Yeah.
But, I mean, also...
Sorry.
Yeah?
It's important not to get a bit silly, because, like, us reading this book...
Oh, God, yeah.
You can find it online and through a library and read it. It is insane. And just the claims they make are so over the top.
It's like listening to your just weird-ass uncle who says a lot of bullshit that he probably shouldn't be allowed to say.
But still says it.
Your weird-ass uncle was a leading expert in the field.
Those weird-ass uncles are always an expert on something they shouldn't be.
But like this was an influential book. This was the narrative of the time. I was watching the original film. I just was sitting there, like, obviously we're sitting here watching this ironically a century later. Yeah, we are coming from a very different time. Yeah. I was trying to really put myself in that time period's, like, framing. Just, like, sitting there, like, this is a documentary?
Yeah. It helps to consider it a documentary of, like, they were considering it a documentary.
Air quotes a documentary.
And to, like, be just slightly aware of, like, the prejudices of the time. The Hays Code framing really helps. If you know the Hays Code before you
I am happy to have,
I vaguely knew the Hays Code.
Introduced.
So I didn't really... I also know that, like, American history is fraught with prejudice, so I wasn't too shocked.
Honey, darling, don't get me started.
I was expecting there to be a bit more of it in the original film, like the demonization of...
I mean, maybe. But I think they just wanted to keep things on track, and I imagine their budget wasn't very big either, which wouldn't have helped.
Oh,
No,
for the
it's funded by
the
church.
exploitation film?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I could probably look it up.
The
Hold on.
church probably kept them on track with the funding quite a bit.
Let me double check. I can probably look that up. So the budget was at the time $100,000, which is about
Yeah,
2.2 million in 2024.
Yeah, they didn't have the funding for much. I imagine that's the only thing that held them back.
Well, it's not even the fact that they didn't have the funding. It's just that was just the choice. That was the trend for exploitation films because they wanted to capitalize on the trends at the time. You know, big fears, big cultural issues, hype, and all that. So
I mean, I love talking about cultural issues, but this is something else.
So like for this and many other exploitation films, there's just like low budget because they wanted to churn those out as fast as possible because hey, gotta get the viewers in, gotta get the audience.
It's like the Hanna-Barbera principle of production.
Yes.
This random Scooby-Doo mention.
They wanted to get these films out as fast as possible, as cheaply as possible. While following the air quote suggestions done by Hays Code, but yeah.
Oh god, yeah. The Hays Code is, as we've said, it did frame itself as like suggestions. However, it very much limited. If you didn't follow it, you weren't getting the audience that other people were getting. Basically, you weren't getting exposure or people seeing your work.
Because local censorship boards like, ew, gross, don't show that.
Yeah. So it wasn't really a guideline. It was very much you either do this or people don't see your work.
I don't know if that budget was the original Church Group one or the Dwayne Aspect recut. But so it was originally financed by Church Group under the title Save the Children.
Oh my god, save the fucking children! Them again!
Yeah. After it was shot, it was purchased by Dwayne Aspect, who recut it for distribution under the exploitation film circuit. Clearly told that interest while escaping censorship under the moral right.
So at least with what we know so far, it did earn 1.4 million from the 1970 reissue, which is, I believe, the one we saw. And I'm just gonna go on a limb and say that the $100,000 was for the initial shoot, not the recut.
Yeah. Oh my god, what a movie! What a fucking movie! I love the musical, but what a fucking movie that thing is. It's just a mountain of things.
It's
There's so much. Like, we didn't even get into the fact that you will not see anyone of color at all in that movie. No. It's all white people. Nothing else exists, and that was just what they thought was normal.
White neighborhoods, all that.
They didn't even bring it up. It was just how the movie looked, and this was oh my god. Things that only have white people in them, it's so hard to tell people apart.
Go off.
It's like basic artistic direction is just lost when you only have one type of person in your movie. That is the bland, flattest looking bitch in the world. I am white. I'm allowed to say this. I am one of you crackers. When we are in a room, we all look so similar.
I think it's particularly bad in this movie because everyone's white. It's in black and white, so like you're losing some of the distinctions. They're all the same age.
Yeah.
They are all dressed kind of the same.
They're the same hairdos.
It's early in the development of cinema, so the cost, I think even if you did the same cast, everyone was white and around the same age these days, and it was in black and white for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You make sure from their costumes they were distinctive.
They don't even they all have the same jawlines too, is the thing. I can't even tell them apart by their jawlines.
They'll have a bit more of a jaw than Ginny and Billy.
Yeah,
sorry,
you get what I mean. Oh, let's see, usually at least I can rely on the jawline, you know? Like, people usually have some sort of form to their jaw that is different to other people.
No. Yeah, I get that.
It's
Sorry,
very funny
just
to
thought
say,
that
I know,
comment sent
but
me.
it's true. It's
It's
what's
true,
like my
wait
last.
a minute,
It's
she's
usually my
Priscilla's
last.
right.
It's usually my last resort, but I couldn't even rely on that in this movie. Not really.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sent me. Thank you. Oh.
I think I found the men a little easier to tell apart. I'm just looking at a picture now. They do have slightly different outfits.
Well, they were more allowed to be characters as part of the
Yeah.
thing as well.
Yeah.
The women aren't characters; they're just there. They're just women,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean,
Women
really
aren't
is,
people in that sort of movie. They're just there.
Like, it really is in the musical. Like, May is such a character.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, Mary's for her. Mary's still a ditzy, innocent, naive girl, but she's still very distinctive. And
She's a bit frenetic with it,
yes,
which I think makes it more interesting.
Yeah, like she's a caricature of that kind of person.
She's
Whereas-
jittery. She's all over the place. It's great.
Whereas in the original film, the women are like they're Billy's girlfriend. They're part of showing that he's an American young boy. Like we were showing us that he's heterosexual. It's a sacrifice on the altar when whoever this gets killed. I guess I think
It's rough. It's rough. It's just, oh my God.
That was Mary who dies. Okay. But like those four characters don't really have that much of their own personality.
No, it's quite a tough time. And oh God, we did our best. We'll say that. We did our best.
It probably doesn't help with me being so familiar with the musical that I just want to like slot them into the characters, and those characters were merged in the musical. So I'm just like, that's male lead and that's female lead, therefore they're Julie and Mary.
Yeah, 100%. It's God, it's a weird time to watch that one.
I did find it very unpleasant right at the start of the original film where Julie and Mary are siblings. Which does kind of entertain me in the parallel whole thing with Mary and Christian Campbell, but
it does a bit, yeah. Oh, I really enjoyed this. I am so glad. And I have to say, I hate to be real. No, I don't. I hate to be present real. Given the current state of the world, this sort of like story is kind of really fucking important.
Yeah.
I recommend it purely based on that in a lot of ways. Even if you're just watching the musical and you need like a break from people acting like this shit is normal, it will help.
Kind of more panic. It's just the propaganda's got a bit more targeted. It's got a little bit more sophisticated.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit harder to put into a fun musical.
Yeah.
But
the themes are all there. All the writing's still on the wall. You can still find some reprieve in this musical, telling you that things are stupid but dangerous, actually.
And just the scapegoating, like, it was, again, it's not much in the original film. They do play up a little bit in the musical, but the racist things that absolutely wrapped up in the anti-marijuana propaganda. This menace that's come up from Mexico.
Yes.
It's these people of color leading kids astray.
It's all about the in-group bullshit. We are better than the other people, and we have to be scared and aggressive towards the out-group.
Yes.
And it's all about that, and that is like really at the root of it what is being weaponized today.
Well, I've got the Harry J. Haynes, the name, Wikipedia page open at the moment. He's the head of the Bureau of Narcotics and is the driver of the anti-marijuana campaign and the war on drugs in general. And a couple of comments about coloured students partying with white female students and boys taking a girl and but then there's his basic attitude was shown in remarks not related to any particular story, such as Reefer makes darkies think they're as good as white men.
It's a real it's very yeah, it's very much history is something we never really stop living, and
Yeah.
a lot of our issue with current days and like humans in general is that we forget. We just forget. We don't have like we don't put the effort in to remember what things have already happened. I was watching a very interesting video about goddamn, just today actually. I just finished watching it today. It was about 2 hours long, so it took a bit.
Oh.
It's by Some Ordinary Things, the YouTube channel, and it is about Mussolini. It is about Mussolini.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. No, I need because whenever you send me something, it's a good watch. So.
He went to Italy because he wanted to look into the rise of fascism, because that's really the term fasces comes from the Italian fascistic movement that arose during Mussolini, and it's an incredibly good showing of basically this sort of thing happens so easily, and in a sense Italy tries to remember that it happened. It does glorify some of it, like I won't lie, it does discuss a current politician who is using Mussolini's framework and very much enjoying his policies. However, the constant anger in the graffiti, like graffiti was a big way that they fought back during Mussolini's time. The constant anger in graffiti is still there, and there's graffiti about freeing Gaza and Palestine. There's graffiti about current fascism. Some of it's just people writing words with a Sharpie, and that's good enough sometimes, honestly. And I just, Italy isn't perfect. By fucking God, it is not perfect. It's a fucking mess. We don't want to be go following its whole blueprint of how to honor heroes and villains. However, we need to acknowledge that they don't pretend the villains didn't happen. Just like Germany doesn't pretend the villains happened. Like that's an important marker, is that we need to remember that they happened and how they happened. And that will help us avoid, that really is what helps people avoid falling into these issues and falling for this bullshit again and again. And unfortunately, America is very good at whitewashing their history. And I think it really speaks to, this is really like how these things keep happening in America. Man! Man! This isn't the Priscilla podcast. So, Hazel, tell them what we've already got lined up for our next recording.
Okay, so before we go to the Wheel of Fate, hi editor Red on my side now. So we are doing our next episode for Snobservation. It's going to be on the Bayverse Transformers, the first one.
God, none of us are looking forward to that one.
I'm like,
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm like, I get to turn off my brain. I
can't do that. You're better at that than I am.
I will be there with you, Priscilla. So I will be your emotional support box being, okay?
So brave.
Okay. Aside from that, we still have 11 more films on our list, so I'm gonna spin in 3, 2, 1, and spin.
What have we got?
Hi, Priscilla.
What are they doing to me? What are you doing to me?
Hold on, I just need...
Do I get to die again? Do I get to suffer again?
I don't know. Do you get to... Actually, who sent this in? I need to know who sent this in first. Is it really the first person who put this in here?
Maybe?
It really is, and we don't know who it is. It's Birdemic.
Birdemic! That might actually be really fun. Hang on. That might actually be really fun.
It's 2010, and I think you mentioned this one. There's no.
I have a modicum of love for this movie.
Okay, that's good.
And I enjoy what this director was trying to do.
Okay, good, because
I respect him and his passion.
Good. Unfortunately, the submittee did not give a name, so we will be watching this on our own.
That's okay. It happened.
I know. I was
Maybe
like,
they were shy. Maybe they were from our little group of Lance and they didn't want to.
yeah.
They were a bit
I
shy.
Quite possibly.
Possibly, I don't
happened.
know anyone from my FC. That seems like a bird Debbie could enjoy, if I'm being honest.
Oh, tragic for them, I guess.
I don't know.
I'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Alright.
If someone comes out of the woodwork, I'll love that. But
Alright.
they have to live without being on the podcast.
Yeah.
Sad for them.
No, it's their loss, not ours.
Oh, 100%.
Alright. So, that's gonna.
We had
Sorry.
initially rated
Oh, yeah, right. We got a tier list.
Reefer Madness as an A. Before we knew anything about the movie, we'd initially rated it as an A.
Okay, well,
Azel, are you comfortable putting this one in an S? Because I am.
The musical?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put the musical in S tier. The original film's still in it.
We didn't rate the
Is that
original
fine?
film. We just rated the musical.
What-
So
Put it in S tier, but
we're putting
on
the
record.
musical in S. Yeah.
I'm on record. A tier for the original one, S for the musical. Alright?
That's his opinion. I would have put in the original in like a C because I'm a bitch.
Well, because I have more attachment to it, so like I'm on percent like since it's not official, but it's on record.
His film school brain is frying him.
My film school brain is like going, and it has a special place in my heart because I love film history. So.
That's totally fair. I respect that. I have moved Reefer Madness the musical up to an S because actually this is fucking iconic.
This.
Yeah.
She deserves to live in the good graces of every single person of history. Everyone should know her name, you know?
Okay, I'm gonna be real. I did not come into Reefer Madness the musical expecting much, but it serves hard.
It serves insanely good. It
so
serves
good.
insanely good, and I'm really happy
So
you
good.
submitted it, Lance. Once again, thank you for
Thank
joining
you
us.
thank you for joining us.
No
And further,
problem.
and not even for joining us. Thank you for giving us a great film. Like holy moly!
Thank you again so much for joining us, Lance. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for joining.
No problem.
And we will see you
Good
all
time.
next time.
Take care, you
Dun
all.
dun dun, the horror. Michael Bay.
It could happen to you, or you,
It could have me.
or
Or
you.
you. Da da da. Alright. See y'all next time.
And-
Bye bye.
Bye bye.